Yeah. Welcome to Open Minds, Open Mic, the place to be on a Friday night. Tonight we have a special delight, a young gentleman named Sfongo. I'll get into his introduction in a moment here. I just want to share a piece to kind of set the tone, set the pace, you know, and kind of put us in a good mind space for creativity and blessings. So it's called Phantoms. Manifesting phantoms, fanning messes, finding blessings, what's the dust left us? Amongst the stuff, I saw a box labeled, only open with trust and pure thoughts. I wiped the cobwebs off, took a deep breath in, then paused, cleared my mind, not sure what I'd find inside. Felt a tingle run up my spine, goosebumps down my arms. Don't be alarmed, a voice whispered in my heart. I began to start untying ribbons, so ornate and carefully placed, beginning to taste the sweetness in my mouth. The air in the house smelled like an old memory I just couldn't live without. Slowly, I lifted the lid, and as I did, I felt the great presence enter the room. This present was meant for you, the voice softly spoke again. I closed my eyes and set aside the lid, felt the rush of love and light wash over my soul. I opened my eyes, took a look inside. What a surprise, a true sight to behold. The voice then told me to hold on to this treasure forever, never forget this gift, protect it with care. It is yours to share with all you ever have and ever will love. Suddenly, a force from above entered into my being. I began seeing my destiny laid out in front of me to spread love and peace across the globe with the greatest of ease. Thank you. Feel free to unmute if you guys want to.
That was incredible.
Yeah, Thomas.
Excellent. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Our feature tonight is a very talented young man, full of potential and the drive to achieve it. From the majestic Matopo Mountains in Zimbabwe, he is a village boy with a dream, 4-time slam champion, author, spoken word artist, and wellness storyteller. Sfongo's first book, Trials, was published in May 2002 by Ubuntu Afro Records and was officially launched at Magazzino Parallelo in Cesena, Italy. Sfongo is the technical officer at LiveFest Harare and the operations direction for youth media organization V Africa in Freetown, Sierra Leone. His poetry film Through Hell was shortlisted for the 2022 Obeel Poetry Film Competition. At 25, he lives his life as proof that dreams sprinkled with consistent action become reality. Let's all unmute for a moment and give it up for our feature, Sfongo.
Yeah, Sfongo, yeah.
Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Excited.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. A bit of change of plans. I had network issues, so I had to move away from my room. Now I'm sitting outside. So if you hear dogs barking, it's just the dogs in the compound here. Don't worry about those. But we're still gonna try and make this the best as it is. Still gonna try and make the best out of this. So okay, let's see. This is a continuation of the voices in my head set. I think some of the poems are in my first book. Some of the poems are not in any book, so they'll probably make my second book. I might call it Voices in My Head. I'm still deciding on that. But yeah, so this is a continuation of that set. The first time I performed it was on Spoken Word Online with David Leo Sirois. I'm sure I'm pronouncing his surname right, but if you want to see that, I can share the link with you. But let's get on to this one. Look at him. Look at him, so cute. So cute and confused. He forgot his notebook. Look at him. Now he doesn't now he doesn't know what he's gonna do. Oh, so cute. We told you. You can't do nothing, right? Look at you. No, I'm not choosing violence today. I'm not letting your insecurities, born of failures, ruin my day today. I'm rolling loud, puffing till I pass out. Fuck the neighbors' complaint. I'm choosing me today. Because why should I do it now if I can do it later? That's what I tell myself. Distant plans seem safer. Claiming perfectionism, you see, intricate details are fascinating until you realize it's a cover for fearful procrastination. Promising tarred roads for years in a destination. Walk the talk to find my destination, but no, I can't do that whilst allowing too much hesitation. See, talk is cheap is not enough to television. I dream big, but spend a lot of hours on social media. I am on a joystick control, but yet out of control, getting constantly consoled for torn pockets caused by ditching the hustle over a gaming console. With the little time I use on my dealings, I make a killing. But if I put in more work to this, I'll be sticking to the ceiling. I am willing. I'm tired too. And I think you know the feeling. If I did it better, it will come with healing and extinguish the hell in my conscience. Waking up a few minutes before the sun, I just want to be better. I do this for my son. I love you, Stu. For my mother, my family. I am the plan. No more glorifying comfort until I am done. Completing tasks is a therapy session. I need a recharge through literary meditation. I heal my buckles by reading the wisdom of Vadim Zealand and Wallace D. Wackles. I wanna be better. I'm gonna be better than I am today. I wanna be better. I'm gonna be better than what I am today. 'Cause I know that the tree didn't wake up bearing fruits. 'Cause I know that the tree didn't wake up bearing fruits. I'm not arguing with these voices today. Neither am I doing as they say. I'm choosing me today because I know that everything done once can be done thrice. They say you live once. Man, that's a big dead lie. Don't we live every day? I mean, life doesn't die. It only grows into that which it really is. If you can feel pain, that's proof enough that you can feel joy. Life is a scale. Put a price on yourself. Ascend, staying true to the self, staying true to Mother Earth, grounded, chakras aligned. You don't need to prove a thing unless you want to. I am becoming a man prosperity runs to. If it ain't abundance, I don't need to talk to you. 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 I don't need to talk to you because no. I'm not choosing violence today. I'm choosing me today. Because the high ain't been that high lately. My life is mine. I am using my time wisely. But you know, old dogs and new tricks don't blend easily. Like government and truth don't eye to eye see. Still, you only decide who you are gonna be. Murderers and thieves make the rules. Fear and guilt, the tools they use to keep many in a state of doom. Men created God, that's my truth. Many will die without experiencing truth because they just do what they are told to do. Still, only I decide who I'm gonna be. Only I decide who I'm gonna be. Look at you. You should have brought your notebook, man. None of this improv set an hour before works. Yeah. You're choosing you today. Like government and truth don't eye to eye see. But you say you're choosing you today. We hear you. You're choosing you today. We hear you. Anyway, carry on, little man. Carry on. Carry on, little man. You see, just because you live in my head doesn't mean you guys control everything I do. Because in the face of death, I wake still, seeking immortality. Torn pockets, but my hope, I lose not. If I dream it, I can have it. Depression, man, that was my daily adversary. I used to pray for victory until I took action, because I realized that those prayers were pointless, like Zimbabwean protests. Okay, we hear you, Lumen. Okay, we see you. We see you. Choosing you today, choosing you today. Okay. But before we take our rest, we got this to say to you, Lumen. Take time for yourself. Break away from these glowing curves. They weren't created with safe words. Meet yourself in the middle, maybe converse a little. Let the children guide you. Their hearts are pure. Babylon hasn't captured them yet. They be in their own planet creating for the sake, seeking no profit, just natural growth. The joy of being with no gimmicks, no images to uphold, no one's dreams to live, no mom's expectations to meet. Put the bottle down. You'd rather sell it than buy it. Alcohol ain't your friend, and I ain't a preacher. Yet in a capitalist system, I want your eyes to continuously run from left to right as your brain renders to the best of its ability what your perspective makes out of these stories that I write. I want to see you formulate a waste disposal system, then complain tirelessly about pollution. I want to see you abracadabra that bitch into dollars enough to elevate you above survival mode, so you can lend a hand to those coming up. Free the birds and prove to the keepers that gets a cup of sand at the beach when the squad has wings. I wanna be better, I'm gonna be better than I am today. I wanna be better, I'm gonna be better than what I am today. 'Cause I know that the trees didn't wake up bearing fruits. 'Cause I know that the trees didn't wake up bearing fruits. Everything grows. That's the way of life. And poetry is my life. It is consciousness in action. It is all my ancestors, past, present, and future, screaming at their loudest through these words that I write, memorize, repeat again and again and again. My name is Pongo, and thank you very much for listening. Peace.
Right, let's
That
all
was
just unmute for
incredible.
a moment and give some
Yeah, that was incredible.
That was
so good.
You're a
incredible.
tremendous storyteller. Tremendous.
Oh, I got
Thank you.
Incredible.
chills, man.
Thank
That
you.
was so good.
Those are those chills.
Yep, that was
talented.
the chills running up my spine, man. They were coming from you in the
So
future.
talented.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
So,
you very much, everyone. Thank you. Much
yes, it's
appreciated.
Thank you.
London, we got Lantern Carrier, and we've got Eleanor. Welcome to Open Minds. So let's all give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Guy. Songo, I was swinging with you, man. The rhythm, the cadence, and then the storytelling and the sweetness, they were all there, man. I was swinging with you, and I like the way you're having the monologue with that voice of yours and bringing in a few truths here and there. It's quite discerning. Thanksgiving to my wife and son. I would suspend the clouds for you, my beloved. So many years later, I can still hear the merriment of your laughter, feel your pristine purity and deepest love in the home we once shared together. Food reminds me of your culinary zeal, an artist at work, tossing in an ounce of love here, a heart's kiss there, the sacrifice of your soul's concern and diligent work. Fidelity par excellence, the cute gaze in your mahogany brown eyes dazzled like starlights. Heaven blessed you with a handsome and ingenious son, still covering our backs way into adulthood. When I water the flowers, I think of your heart's rose garlands, the sunflower of your smiles, the warmth of their solace, gleaming through your alluring cheeks. Jasmines and lavenders reminds me of your soul's fragrant sweetness, All glory to the one within for granting us those memorable days beneath coconut palms and sandy Caribbean beaches, for allowing us to pretend practicing our Spanish lessons on your mother's balcony, when instead the passions of our inner fire allowed us to peruse and satisfy the curiosity of desires. My queen, I still feel your concern and fortitude when young Kingsley was sick, or when as an infant, you were so alert to his every need that the slightest sound would rouse you. You who, like myself, would wade through snow-flooded paths to find him a temporary haven in a childminder's residence. Sharing a meal together was both a joyful silence and storytelling, not forgetting the fish broth and dumplings, their breath-purifying, tongue-licking fragrances, as we reminisced about the frolic and gaiety of school days in a familiar distant land. We cherished our courting and bashfulness, our love for aesthetic splendor, like rainbows and butterflies. Thank you for the homely and magical Christmas seasons. For this, my darling, my queen, I offer up my utmost gratitude. If I could, I would summon the perennial deities, invite the sun and moon to swear allegiance to our sacrifice and concern, while bowing the luminous crest in reverence to the many years of undying love. Poem 2, Reflections. When I peer through the short span of life, like an indigo sky through dreary clouds, I can see that I was where I was meant to be, and I am where the light has taken me so far. The inner alchemist has erased my struggles, even as the luminous moon has swallowed my shadows. I have been reborn a phoenix and know by faith the supernal portals of tomorrow's destination. I was a mariner in boisterous waters, a turbulent hope searching for beacons. Now love resurfaces, an Excalibur of light, removing with ease my bondage chains. No more the play of attachment desires, my toxic friends have vanished like ghosts. Wisdom has flooded the heart's constellations, and my soul is as free as Akashic space. Now stars twinkle and dawn awakes, as I hear the symphony of starlings imbibe the grandeur of nature. Daybreak sings to me of love, and I bathe in the glow of sunlit rays. I take her dreams as my pursuit, and the wine of sweetness flows from my heart. My bumpy road of yesteryear is now a cool breeze on swirling snow. My queen and I have re-encountered. The happiness I sought is now before me, manifesting the beauty of my visions. Now I experience the utmost joy as we come together as one. I was once an emotive passion, later yielding to crimson blood. I entered this world to enjoy a dance, became lost in the dunya of ignorance. Like malleable clay in the hands of my potter, I've become a peerless vase, the past vanishing like fleeting clouds. Hell is nothing but a place of refuge. An embryo concealed in darkness eventually becomes a creative soul. A cocoon emerges a butterfly. Now my empress and I watch Orion at nights, bathed in a glow of nebulae. Destiny hides in our joys and sorrows, even as night does the sunset, until the illustrious dawn awakes in all its pristine glory. Ignorance is a reflection, quietly revealing my shadowy stains. It whispers ceaselessly to the mind to walk on the path of blades and fetters. Freedom is my mirror, wiped clean of all that stains it, burning a sparkling sweetness and the effulgent glory of the self. London Carrier, thank you.
That was incredible. That was incredible.
Electric Carrier does it
So
again.
beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. My wife asked me,
Incredible.
she goes, "That's how you feel about me, right?" But of course,
That was incredible.
thank
That's
you
how I
for
feel about
saying
thee
that for me.
Incredible.
and Gustav.
Mm. All right, so coming up next, we have a new face here at Open Minds. We have Eleanor, and yeah, we're really excited that you could be here, that you made it tonight, and welcome to the family.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to give you a very, very brief can't even get my words out, explanation about a bit about the poem, because I think it can come across as being a bit obscure. So essentially, I wrote it. I started writing it about 3 months ago, and I sort of went back to it 2 days ago and finished it. 2 or 3 days ago, I think, maybe longer. It's untitled. I don't yet know what to call it, and it starts off the opening paragraph. And the reason why I'm explaining it to you is because so many people are from America and they don't know the history of the Caribbean. And the history of the Caribbean is that obviously slaves were brought from Africa. They were taken from Africa, rather, taken to the Caribbean and enslaved and for a few hundred years. And then after slavery ended, the Caribbean countries, the British ones, became colonies. So my poem is set first off in the Caribbean, with people standing on the shore, standing by the shore on the beach. And what happened after the Second World War was that so many lives had been lost that the British government made a request of people within the Caribbean to come over and work and live and stay. And they considered Britain to be the motherland. They considered it to be their ultimate, sort of land. The Queen was there and whatever. And when they came and when they arrived in the 50s and 60s, 40s, 50s and 60s, they thought that they would be welcomed with open arms, but there was a great deal of hostility towards the Black Caribbean people who arrived here. There was a lot of hatred towards them. They didn't want them here, rather like the situations that we have going on at the moment. So their dreams, I suspect, were shattered to a greater extent. So what I did then was I was juxtaposing it with, I just sort of perceived the fact that there are two journeys here. There was a journey of the Caribbean people to Britain by ship, predominantly, mostly, in the 40s, 50s and 60s. And then the journey of the slaves by ship from Africa to the Caribbean and also to the USA. So yeah, that's my, would you like me to share my screen or not? Would you like me to share my screen? Okay, hang on. There we go. Can you see it? Can you see it? I can't hear you. You can see it. Okay. I'm just trying to see if I can move it. Okay. I'm just going to go off camera while I read it. Okay. We stood afore in soft, translucent grains of crystalline comfort, the undulating rise and fall and swell of crashing wave, reflecting in our common selves the dread desire for another life. A salty warmth enfolds the thirst-quenched glist of crassiflora ebony form. This skin we want to know becomes our weighted sword of Damocles. We want to know. Imbued in us a fear and loss of distant, sacred other motherland, swept towards and forward in anticipative longing for a place imprecisely revered, and spoken of in hushed and muted tones, as if by the telling it would transmute and drown into the ocean catacombs replete with the bones of our ancestral line. We weren't to know, for if we had, the dreams of fabled Albion would dissipate to ash and silt and rust, as did corrosive bonds borne by our sorrowed and courageous forehearts. That's it, folks.
Wow, that was good.
Wow,
I
that
like
was
that.
incredible.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Your voice is so powerful.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to hearing more.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, me too. More.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to go,
Thank
if you
you
have
so
another
much for
small piece,
sharing that.
you can. We've
Eleanor
had a few
Carrington
people.
Finch, so eloquent, so well written.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad I told you about this open mic.
Me
Yeah,
too.
thank
Thank
you.
Thank
you.
you
all
so
are
much for
too.
showing up.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It was quite short compared to everybody else's. Sorry.
That's okay.
Hey, short and to the point, right?
That was intense.
So it looks like
Did you understand it? Because
yes.
somebody said it was a bit complex, and I think when I look back at it, yeah, it is. When I'm reading, I'm
I'm glad
thinking,
you
wow,
added
that
extra explanation. That was helpful.
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
Oh, and I was
yeah.
just going to say, I thought you needed less of an explanation, because I think if you simply let people know that it was the descendants of Caribbean slaves standing on the shore, that image you painted, that specific image you painted, I felt like with that image, I understood everything else that you were talking about. But I do know a little more about the Caribbean history, so it's possible you do. I'm wondering if there's no way to
The reason I
title.
explained is I was asked by two people. One person said, "Is it about the Ukrainian refugees?" Was the first, and then the second person asked me if it was about the Nigerian Igbo recently. So that's why I've explained it, because I thought people don't get it. This is what I was asked. So
Well, I
Picture poem means many things to many people.
yeah.
Well, I think Eleanor also wants them to understand what it's supposed to mean as well, because it is an important historical event that she's depicting, and she's showing us the emotional and the human side of, instead of just the facts.
I think that's probably why I need a title, and then I wouldn't need to
That's what I was
explain.
gonna say. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
exactly.
A good title will solve that for you.
Yeah, I can't find one. I just can't. I can't. I've been trying and trying. I had a title. Somebody said it was rubbish. I agreed with them. It was, and I just have left it untitled. I can't.
Well,
I'm not very
hopefully,
good. Not very good.
hopefully
Not very
the
good.
creative space here, listening to all these
Yeah.
other amazing poets, it
Yeah.
might come to, you know.
Yeah.
We
Thank
really
you.
try to nurture creativity and community in this open mic, and thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And, coming up next, we have the Magus, Gustav, Sallas.
Okay, guys. Great to see everybody here. I have 3 short ones. This is called Ignited We Stand. It's coming, brothers and sisters, sisters and brothers. This is the dissension. This is the ascension we've been waiting for, here and now, with room for more. We will not be recruited, red-pilled, used as pawns, nor jackbooted. Rise up, sisters and brothers. This revolution's ours. It's for our mothers, the dispossessed and the oppressed, who've been lied to and second-guessed, prisoners, soldiers, and the ill. All those the fascists would kill. Come with us, brothers, sisters. March until your feet have blisters. For your vote, for justice, and yes, for love. Engage that we may rise above. This revolution's no violent overthrow. For fighting war with war, you know, never ends well. So raise your voices. Enlightened people must make wise choices. Peace will win, a revolution of the mind. Let's show them some real intelligent design. On fire now we make our demand. Peace and justice now, ignited we stand. This one's called Meet DeSantis. DeSantis, meet DeSantis. He's a modern Stone Age governor. He's as dumb as a rock. Took the CRT right out of history. Someday, maybe Ron will win the fight. Then we'll be so fucking far right. When you're with DeSantis, have a yabba dabba do time. A dabba do time. Don't say a gay old time. Don't say a gay old time. This one's called MK Ultraman. burned in the fires of the Monday night online open mic. I rise from the ashes on Thunderlung Thursdays to soar into the sky for open minds on Friday, spitting out lines like depleted uranium, blowing your mind inside that cranium. I'm a fount of creativity. I'm Mighty Mouse on LSD. Here I come to save the day. I live in Florida, but I still say gay, like MK Ultraman, the psychedelic warlock. I bend time as I wind back the clock. Throw those hands up and say, don't shoot. Nourish your body from root to fruit. I got that old time evangelical agnosticism. Stand together now to oppose fascism. Dance your own dance to a beat only you can hear. Then we will appear, transporting you far away in time and space, all done with inimitable style and grace. Thank you.
Yeah, Gustav, bringing that fire.
Incredible.
Go ahead and unmute and give it up for Gustav.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
brilliant.
powerful. That was
That was-
powerful.
That was, man. Wow.
Gustav, you just made me laugh, dude. After a long, trying week, I needed that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we all did, man. That was wonderful. All right, so coming up next, we have Tori B, and she's a comedian. And so what we like to do with the comedians, it's a bit different when you're doing spoken word. You know, everyone, you want them all muted, so you have the space. But with comedians, we find it's much more voting for them if we can all unmute. This way she can hear our laughter and know if her jokes are hitting or not. Otherwise, there's very awkward silences. So I'd ask for all of you guys to unmute, and we're gonna go ahead and let Tori B grab the mic.
Tori!
Thank you all. Oh my goodness. So yeah, unmute to your comfort. It's up to you. Gustav, man, holy shit. America is unhinged. You know, we've got to have a TV in every room. We still celebrate genocide while it actively goes on in our borders. These are not jokes, but I come to an open mic to escape the bigotry and the fascism and the overwhelmingly heteronormative bullshit that is stand-up comedy mics. Like when I tell you these men joke about anything and everything, they joke about anything and everything, and I draw the line completely. I remove my dollars. I don't buy at their bars anymore. I remove my laughter. I don't put myself in spaces where I can see that disgust, you know, but I find myself going back time and time again, just dropping in on them to like leave a note of like, this is what a woman thinks, you know, because in 2016, I showed up to a Planned Parenthood and was able to get emergency contraception. I was able to avoid very narrowly having a Donald Trump apocalypse now baby.
Was it
I'm
Herschel
so glad for
Walker's?
that because I'm a total hoe. And babies, they be messing with my hoe vibes, you know? That said, it's been a very dry year. I have had more COVID shots than I've grabbed ass. And I no longer care what a bunch of guys who really seem bad at sex think about my jokes. Because if they're gonna tell coat hanger abortion jokes with no repercussions, you better believe I'm gonna reclaim those motherfucking abortion jokes and let you know that God loves abortion.
Yes.
I wouldn't be here today because I would be caring for a 6-year-old, which would be absurd. She'd need like a car seat. They all need car seats. I don't know. Cars aren't safe. We should take buses. Why aren't there more buses in America? Why are we all driving around in death machines when we could be harmoniously living? You know, these are just my thoughts. Yeah, so I spread my legs for Salma Moody, and she inserted that IUD, that tiny little coat hanger, your DIY coat hanger. Yeah. And it felt awful, but it felt great to control all of this because there's a lot of this to control.
Yeah.
I'm bipolar, I'm bisexual, and I am that bitch who rode her bicycle to bankruptcy court. I seriously got served my bankruptcy papers on April Fool's Day. Shit you not. I got my Chapter 7 documents on the 1st of April. And like, for a comedian, that's my favorite fucking holiday. And as a socialist, my second favorite holiday is Labor Day, and I dress like it. Thank you, everybody. You've been fantastic.
Yeah. Give it up to Tori B.
Tori B.
Oh, I love having her come through for a little comedic relief, you know, in these poetry sessions. Sometimes they can get real deep, you know, and it's always great to have a laugh, you know, and kind of raise the energy again. So let's see who we got next up. Oh, she's an amazing poet. She was away for a while. We got her back. I'm so glad that she could be here tonight. Let's all give it up for Carmen Gil.
Woo! Thank you. I will be reading 2 pieces tonight. The first one is a villanelle, structured, and it's called Ripped Heart. I never knew how terribly a heart rips until my knees touched wet pavement, as soft murmurs came from their lips. Raindrops creating rhythmic drips as I quietly questioned what they meant. I never knew how terribly a heart rips. As I dropped, Mother tried catching me from my hips while barely hearing pleas repeat the statement as soft murmurs came from their lips. I was always reassured that those are the safest things, those ships. He carefully picked where his next mission would be, placement. I never knew how terribly a heart rips. I could feel Mom's grips as they explained the missile testing accident as soft murmurs came from their lips. They listed and thanked me for all his hardships as Mother started speaking of funeral arrangements. I never knew how terribly a heart rips as soft murmurs came from their lips. And my second piece is a freestyle, and it's called The Queen's Rule. Hurrying, disregarding what was believed to be common sense driving, to turn into a slanted empty space closer to the chaos that never seems normal for this concrete slab. Empty slants near the edge of the invisible cage walls, yet they opt to cover the yellow hazard lines at the front of the doors. Scurrying, idle, seeking, carcasses roaming with purpose and a last dazed and the meek welcome coming from the lifeless statue as the glass doors slide open reminds you of how different it is from the time of your grandparents. Lines and feet moving towards the anthole opening, all bringing the sought after green, luscious food to the starving queen that opens, her cold mouth filled with limited rows of teeth at the end of every beat. Corners of openings that release the fake emotion of an upside down crescent moon on the bodies of those working for unjust earnings, piling emptying shelves to do it again by nightfall, hands continuously ruining the work second after second. Scurrying worker ants believing that they don't have to return to just find themselves back here. Lured by the black font on the sun-rayed dead tree ashes turned to surface, back in the lines marching to the queen. Lured back each time by the possible roll call of the queen on a special treasure that was so quote unquote needed for their already cluttered home. Lured back by the competition of others not being able to match the queen's ever mesmerizing art created on the sun-kissed tree ashed on the surface that show that they have only to bring the queen less food than they thought. Even though they don't have to feed the queen, for she is always being fed by other lost ants. As another limp body reaches their work zone, slides their upside down smile into the slot to hear the stamp of it being turned into a limp smile as they head into the scene of worker ants trying to dodge rain pellets wearing special blue armor so their queen is able to see her minions. turning the cold contraption on wheels into a slant off to the side, far enough to take in the clusterfuck, close enough to hear the clinks and grazing of the metal holders of the Queen's prized possessions. Walking across a space where all driving protocol is lost, the brisk air splashes my face. The slight chaos in the air greets me with the Queen's laugh after every several beeps coming from all directions. There is a faint, meek, lifeless, welcome to Walmart. Thanks, everybody.
Wow.
Wow.
I love that last
Incredible.
line. Wow. Amazing. So amazing.
So good.
Always so amazing.
Images.
Yeah, that last line landed hard after Chesapeake.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, I love how this space, everyone is like not afraid to smoke whatever they're smoking. Peace and love, yo.
Yeah. And we all smoking on all types of stuff in here, man.
Just an
Not
easy
We all
me.
breath.
open minds here, baby.
All right.
All right, so yeah, if D, if you would love to bless us with some of them words, brother.
From my fifth book, Eloise Nietzsche, Poems, 2013 to 2018, released Earth Day 2020. From pages 55 to 59, from section 3, Travels Through Nature. Based on actual events, this is called Sweat Lodge. Chololo Falls Campground, Tool River Yokutt Reservation, Porterville, California, USA, July 2006. Small tin cup full of water, tipped and poured over sacred fire, heated stones, left scalding. Created condensation, heated up the lodge, solitary in the wilderness near waterfall. Ceremonial site made from wooden framing and surrounding tarps and canvas. There we huddled in a circle in the darkness, practically returning to mommy's womb. Parental safety, pre-birth. Sweating the weakness out of our pores, purifying ourselves beyond the hot, stifling black moment. My first sitting in a sweat lodge was everything I thought it would be. Chants, meditation, cloud of steam, extreme heat, dry, oppressive, humid as Atlanta summers, exhaustion climate I do not miss, rapid moisture arisen from my bare, neck, shoulders, back, chest, arms, legs, bare feet, even soaked, the white towel wrapped around my black waist. Clouds of steam, extreme heat, full body perspiration forced me to remember my 30th birthday that evening, March 3rd, 1998, my last taste of alcohol, whilst hanging with an old friend between two taverns. My last fling is a social drink, Heineken Dark, Rolling Rock, Jägermeister shots, blank spot in my memory, and then the morning after in my own bedroom, never knew how I'd gotten there. Slowly waking, stomach churn, nauseous feeling, legs weakened, turned to crawling, not walking, back and forth between the bed and a toilet. Release of bile from my mouth from bolt to Bowls Hollow had me scared to eat or drink anything that day. My worst hangover superseded others past. Silent vow from inner skull, no more consuming alcohol. That long, vexing day of my own body staging its mutiny against me was the terminus of a weekend recreational rite that began in my late teens. Any beer, any ounce of liquor to impress other metalheads and punk rockers at parties. Anything to avoid the unwanted label of coward. American Indian tradition says we must heal and cleanse ourselves for closeness with our Creator. And that's where the lodge comes in. Sometimes it's good to sweat.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that poem was called Sweat Lodge, based on actual events. And that was from my 5th book, Eloy Nietzsche, now available from Conviction to Change Publishing. From this mic to your ears, I'm D. Allen. Thanks for listening.
Awesome, D.
Every
Yeah.
month
Thank you.
is
As
Native
some of y'all may
American
know,
Heritage Month.
We have they've been here quite a few times. I know most of y'all know them and love them. The magnificent, the glorious, the harsh, the brilliant, amazing Vayl Larkin.
Thanks. Okay, I'm going to read a cycle today. With everything going on and the news this weekend was really difficult for a lot of us, and everything else that's going on is really difficult for everyone who's paying attention. So I am trying to get myself to write some positive poetry. And as a way of inspiring that, I'm going to read some positive poetry and see how that goes. This is a cycle. Invincible moments. Those singular, invincible moments. Last summer on the lake. She was reading to me on the bluffs above the shore, The Last Unicorn. And the sun on her hair and the light off the water filled my heart with gold. The sky over the water was streaming, yellow, purple, rose, and blue, rising in towering battlements above and within the skin of the lake. But in the depths, the Red Bull roared, and wave foam wept, and all the butterflies burned out. Everywhere around us, eyes gazed upward to see phantom dragons rampant in the clouds, flaming the sun down the sky. I alone looked down, watching her. Turned away and up with all the rest, and I knew in that aching moment that all our dreams would flee as she followed them upward inevitably as I wandered, earthbound and pathless. I heard the sky tolling the end of our story. I watched her face, rose gold, and my heart pulled from me, reaching its desperate tendrils out, and always toward her, grasping the last strands of our fairy tale, weaving them into the deep fabric of myself before she slipped away. I can never regret. I can sorrow, but it's not the same thing. Peter S. Beagle, The Last Unicorn. Those moments when everything aches with a truth beyond reality. Sorry. City on Fire. We flew down the road at the speed of the music. We were high as eagles, chemicals coursing, and the laws of the world were unwieldy and tedious. We rebelled, boarding the currents to carry us onward. We revolted, revolving in space, time, and landscapes beyond. I saw ahead the skyline of the city, and it was stained with streaming red and arsenic flames, a conflagration massive as stars. You did not look up. One voice says, grasp tight to the rider, pale and promising. Burn with the great fire. I almost caught his cloak. But then the second voice says, this too may be delusion. Lay back, wind to catch you. Sleep in the arms of this world as the old one ashes away. And he who was seated on the throne said, behold, I am making all things new. John of Patmos, Revelations 21:5. Those moments of awakening, of understanding in a breath what wakefulness can be, all the myriad definitions of life. The temple steps. I slipped through trees and undergrowth grown green and knowing, hushed sunlight coming in points like stars through the canopy of boughs overhead. I will never know where those old stone risers in the clearing came from, or why I will always long for their silent mossiness in the leaf-dusted glow. Following them down and down where deep pools of shadow simmer beneath the verdure, where I'm filling my veins with chlorophyll, I will root myself here on this battered stage, stones like teeth, broken and chaotic. The steps rise on three sides, a wave carrying the audience up and then down on phantom actors. This is a theater for birdsong and brief scuttlings now. Lost art, lost music, lost years long gone. The air vibrates now only to the beat of the earth's heart and to the melody of life on scintillating life. Just one more. 1.5. But what I like is the excitement of choosing a path carefully in the fear that the quagmire may reach out and suck me down. I like sufficient danger to put an edge on things. Jean Stratton Porter, A Girl of the Limberlost. Those moments when chains break and your feet lift from the earth and all around you joins together in the song of the soul. Church of all gods. They didn't matter, the vaulted halls and the aged hymnals worn by devotion, pages softened to tissue that would dissolve like wafers if I tasted them. Still, there was a special kind of fire that poured through stained glass into that glory of voices, and a ravishing reverence the singing revealed. It would have been the same with any deep, rich, stirring sound in that place. It would have been the same breathless wonder gathering here in a space made for magic. In the golden haze, we were all the same, iridescent and elevated. Eyes through the ceiling and not on our fears. We reached for heaven in union. They didn't matter, the whited priests and the aged worshippers, worn by their worries. The light illuminated what it touched, zealot and heathen alike, and the music gave voice to all the voiceless. I love you when you bow in your mosque, kneel in your temple, pray in your church. For you and I are sons of one religion, and it is the Spirit. Khalil Gibran, the prophet. Those singular, invincible moments, those endless moments whose sweet sharpness, whose wordless vows, whose blossoming hearts guard every moment following forever. I am 6 years old, and I am seeing a violin. My heart broke open, and history poured in. Salman Rushdie, The Ground Beneath Her Feet.
Yo, that was
Wow.
so good.
So captivating.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Love hearing you, Val.
We
I would
featured
ride
Vayl a few
with you no
weeks
matter
ago.
where you took me in that story. And that story,
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Those are all poems that are based on, does anybody have those kind of snapshot memories where you just remember everything about this pivotal moment in your life? And it could be totally random, but it just feels so vivid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just all moments like that for me. And speaking of which, the second poem is illustration of my own journey through substance abuse and out of when I was in my mid-20s.
Well, we've all been there. Wow, yeah. So coming up next. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention that yes, we have featured Vayl before, and if you look on our YouTube channel, you can check out the video. They did just an amazing job. I'd recommend it tonight, tomorrow, whenever you get the chance. So coming up next, we got he came through last week and just loved it, so he came back and he said that he wants to feature, so we're gonna feature him next week. We got this man. He may look all soft and kind of innocent, but the thunder and lightning that comes out of this man's mouth is incredible. So let's give it up for CP Mays.
CP Mays, yeah.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out. I'm sorry for the feature. I came in late. I had to take care of some dogs that just wanted to use the bathroom anywhere they wanted to. So I can't wait to hear the second half. I can't wait to hear the second half. 2 poems. The first one's called Old Testament, New Testament, Newer Testament, Book of Gang Signs. My brainstorms are savage, toothless, ruthless vagrants with very bad tempers. A neverland of nevermind. You can never silence the saliva on an I won't choke back words or bite my tongues telling the hands of God that Christians are repping their denomination so hard that they're now throwing up gang signs in God's name. Flocks of congregations are loading their pistols with proverbs, pointing fingers like blow, blow, blow. If the books in the Bible were neighborhood street blocks, know that when the saints came marching in, they came in slanging communion like crack rock. All of the holy rollers are street hustlers. Judas is a jump boy, jacking chalices for any Last Supper table for 30 pieces of silver he can find. Apocalypse is fresh off parole, looking to kill any and all revelations that are caught hanging outside of his Bible book's hood after dark. Adam and Eve are a bunch of habitual criminals bouncing bad checks that the Garden of Eden can't quite cover. Good and evil's tree of knowledge is a sophomore in college, double majoring in human resources and political silence. Some souls just need saving, and I'll be damned if Daniel ain't shooting up heroin in the lion's den again. A mover and shaker Moses is moving weed bowl bundles upon bundles, burning bushes by the pound, moving mountains upon mountains of Mount Sinai crack, pardon Red Sea, slanging kilos of cocaine, baking soda cuts. Whoever said Mary Magdalene was a hooker, whore, or prostitute probably never ever noticed at the Last Supper she was the fiery redhead sitting at the right hand of the Son of God. Oh, Mary, mother of Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary the Blessed Virgin, is a high school hallway substitute teacher teaching safe education, issuing immaculate conception contraceptives, fidgety, restless, antsy, hallelujahs. Have been waiting all night to get into this club called Noah's Ark. There's no entry fee, no cover charge. Feel free to co-check your halos at the door with the cute co-check girl named Karma. John the Baptist is so dumped a body down by the river gangster that the streets nicknamed him Holy Water. The 12 disciples are an in and out of jail bunch of street smart gangbangers with bachelor degrees. Scholars of the School of Hard Knocks. Scholars who are classically trained in the liberal arts of the dope fiend and fluently speaks junkie. Adam and Eve are enjoying apple martinis at a happy hour in the hood. Psalms is parking lot pimping hoes right out of their hallelujahs. Samson and Delilah are fighting over elbow room in a taxi. Book of Genesis just sent a Valentine's to the Big Bang Theory. Signed, sincerely yours. Bine, Bide, Biche. P.S. Look, Lord, take a week off. Look like you can lose some fucking rest. Yes.
That was so clever.
Yeah, always so powerful.
Yes.
Okay, now.
Fire. Oh my God. Wow.
Please,
I
fire.
always wonder if that's going to get me booked for heresy. But yeah, like it's a fun piece. So
Yeah.
We break you.
let's see.
Yeah, we break you out, man.
That's awesome. Poem A or poem B for the last poem?
Let's go with B.
B. Okay.
Poem B.
Uh-oh. Okay. Poem B. Here we go. It's called Piano Player. Sweat me as if we first made love in the sauna of the sun. Perverted planet, let me tongue circle a Saturn's ring around Uranus, as if I was the cluster starfuck bucket your atmosphere could go and come, and I will go anywhere just to watch the stars collide. Fuchsia, the gorgeous girl Tickling the keys on this piano in my pride is a petite fuchsia porcelain purse lip sex pistol. She's where the wild things are, mixed with car wreck caution light smile, mixed with shooting star, you better fucking kill me, mixed with God, I have not yet begun to defile myself. Her, I've made several mistakes in my life-scented skin. Smells like the last one-night stand she pulled off just to prove that loving herself is wrong. A new world hangs outside of our healthy, high self-esteem isn't home at the moment, and I'm so scared that it never will be. It's buying another round of slurred speech, and I'm definitely afraid our always drunk off life is what keeping my white light wasted. I'm a mixed drink special, mixed with hell yeah, fuck you. I'm tired of being the afterlife of the party. Mixed with you're gonna take me serious, lightning bolt like. Listen here, lightning crack. Did you know every time an I love you dies young, another paper cut is added underneath the shaved armpit of God. Addicted to goddamn it life. Life isn't supposed to be this hard. Hard was the cliche our keep your head up has heard way too many times before. Before we were both bent off butterfly kisses, bourbon life. I need more painkillers and an honest I'm sorry for arrogantly flying into conceited thunderstorms, pissed off enough and passed out black out drunk enough to call happy ever after's bluff. Hurricanes is where I will always be reborn in. She wants our skeletons to live and die as legends of the light bulb. Wants my skeleton keys to stop ignoring the do not disturb signs dangling from the doorknob of her silent treatment. And I love you that was too young to take care of itself is hanging vacancy signs from its vagina in hopes that a gentleman caller will leave a voicemail all across her face. She wants to make a porno that the planets would be ashamed of. I need you to gang bang the Big Bang, baby. Spank my comments tail deep in its mid-climax earthquake off your Richter scale until you can sign off into an eclipse's lips. I need to meteor shower up. I'm in over my head. I want to swallow all your cosmos maze. I'll go anywhere just to watch the stars collide with you. Maze, my dearest car wreck, caution light smile. Take your hands off my kid Icarus's cold shoulders. It melted before he did. And I'm as serious as a lonely straitjacket in need of someone comfortable to hold on to. I've pinned all of my scripts on prescription pads for my part-time job, y'all. It's self-medicating. I have not yet begun to defile myself. As serious as I'm sorry if I smiled at you. Just don't jump ship and break tomorrow. I want to feel something sometimes. I think I'm dying here. Hold my halo. I'll be back as soon as I can. IV pump me full of bourbon before flashbacks of all the lovers that went wrong dehydrate me. Y'all, I want an emergency room to make emergency room for my last leg to stand on. It fucking hurts. Closed off, closed-minded walls are closing in on you. You stylish, claustrophobic closet skeleton. You irrational, unbalanced ambulance argument. Your injured ego isn't a by accident basket case. Our dirty outlooks on life are blurred and need shot glasses to see shit clearly. Our hangups need to stop dialing 911 and hanging up. Our type of acting out of line asshole is Ivy League in its status, fuchsia. Play something on your piano that an outer work Cupid can drown his sorrows in, fuchsia. something high, healthy, high self-esteem isn't home at the moment, can turn its house keys in on fuchsia. Play something, our shooting stars, you better fucking kill me, can clock out of work to fuchsia. Play something, I'll go anywhere you want me to, just to watch the stars collide, baby. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow, let's give it up. E.P. Mays.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yo.
you're a fire poet.
Oh,
Can't wait
Yeah.
for,
Appreciate
can't wait
y'all,
for
man.
next week now.
Yeah, next Friday we're gonna be featuring CP Mays, so make sure you guys show up for that as well.
I
We
got
have
some-
2 more performers, and then we're gonna go into our second performance.
And I got some surprises for y'all in the future. I'm gonna bring some other people in to do some collabos on spot. So please come out.
Awesome, awesome.
Not just to hear me, but to hear all the dope poets, Atlas, and all the cats that I came across, and Gustav, who I've come to love in like what 2-3 weeks. So yeah, definitely
Yeah.
come out. It's gonna be dope.
Definitely, bad man. Much love, much love. So yeah, coming up next we got Atlas. It was his first time here last week too, and he just hypnotized us, man. He was so powerful and elegant and just calm and collected, yet intense at the same time. Like, I don't know how he pulls that off.
You guys can hear me okay? Okay. It's really weird that we live in a time where we are so disgusted by lies, and yet the truth is something that seems to irritate people. So in case you woke up out of a 10-year coma or just arrived, this is called the current state of the world, with obviously a lot of cynicism, but complete honesty. Current state. What's going on in the White House is way more important than what's going on in your house. And what's happening in other countries is far more significant than what's happening in your neighborhood. Oh, by the way, no job is good enough for you, and no spouse is supportive enough for you. So the best thing you can possibly do for your happiness is to be broke, unemployed, and alone. Never ask your elders for answers to anything that they might know, when you can avoid talking to them entirely and just look for it on Google. It's fine for you to completely stop talking to people you grew up with if they don't agree with your views about a complete stranger that neither of you actually even know. Winning an argument is way more important than losing a friend. No matter how deserving or appreciative they would be, make sure you don't buy anyone you care about gifts unless it's their birthday or Christmas. Investigating someone's past for several hours before you bother to meet them in person is perfectly acceptable, because it's not like you hired a private detective or personally stalk them. I mean, if the information is accessible, you obviously deserve to have access to all of it. The best way to get to know someone is having them fill out a survey, so that if you do meet them, you won't have to do with stressful things like talking to each other. Fun fact, Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, Thomas Sowell, and Lil Wayne are all Black guys, but they're racist because they don't think racism exists. So you can say that there's something that they don't think exists in the first place. Also, country music is somehow racist, even though it never talks about killing Black people, but hip hop and rap are part of the Black identity, even though a vast majority of those songs talk about killing Black people, wanting to kill Black people, or having already killed Black people. Statistically, the deadliest place for a Black child to grow is not Baltimore, Chicago, or Detroit. It's its mother's womb. We're expected to support women's rights, but you are not allowed to ask who or what a woman is. The same people who were protesting for vaccine mandates are now carrying signs that say, "My body, my choice." If you're already a citizen and have nowhere to go, we'll let you die sleeping on the streets. But if you just got here illegally, we'll put you up in a 5-star hotel. The Occupy movement was a bunch of people using Apple products, going on Facebook, Google, and Twitter to complain about how much they hated big companies and rich people. Everyone pays extra money to get everything delivered to their door, but if you ask anyone, everyone claims to be broke and unemployed. Uber, Airbnb, and DoorDash are huge companies because somehow everyone's real dream job was to either be a cab driver, delivery driver, or hotel concierge. The company that made a bunch of money from selling cheap things that no one really needs bought a supermarket that charges a bunch of money for food that people do actually need. Few more. It's perfectly acceptable to pay up to $300 for headphones, but asking people to pay for the music they listen to, ridiculous. People spend money on records and concerts to listen to rappers sing about what they do with all of their money. How you vote is way more important than how you spend, even though those politicians change every 2 to 4 years, and every dollar goes to people who never change in power or influence and only get stronger. We stop telling kids to say no to drugs, forget the drug war, and instead we make sure they take like 3 or 4 before they go to school every morning. Oh, fun fact, you're depressed because you have a chemical imbalance that requires several expensive drugs to cope with, and not because everything in this ridiculous fucking world makes no sense and you're breaking your mind open trying to make sense of it. No matter how many times they did it, no matter how many times they sang about it or talked about it, if a celebrity dies from a drug overdose, it was totally accidental. Sending death threats and destroying people's careers is how victims respond to people they think are bullies. That makes sense. You base your phone purchase on how good of a camera it has and how much high resolution video it can show you, because no one uses a phone as a phone. Who calls people? If you ask questions about anything, it immediately means you're afraid of it. Even though knowledge makes you less afraid of things, but forget logic. Never talk to strangers. Never, ever talk to strangers, but continue to let them influence the movies you watch, the TV shows you watch, the places you go, the products you buy, the restaurants you dine at. Let strangers tell you everything to do, but don't let them say hello to you. We should provide more charging stations for electric vehicles, and it doesn't matter how much fuel and gas it takes to manufacture them and run them. We need that electric running. Oh, politicians should definitely do something about the environment. But everyone else is perfectly fine getting their food delivered in plastic bags, styrofoam containers, and cardboard boxes, all right? Just don't worry about all that. That's not their problem. Even if you're trying to help them avoid heart disease or diabetes, you should never comment on someone's weight because that's fat shaming. If you see someone with one leg, don't give them crutches. That's ableism. If you see an elderly person struggling to reach for something, don't help them. That's ageism. If you see a woman getting harassed, do not interject. That is sexism. But if you see someone morbidly obese looking for a motorized cart at Walmart, help them. That's consumerism. Never help anyone, no matter how badly they may need it, because you're just virtue signaling and not being like a genuinely good person. Those don't exist. And if you want to be a hero these days, the most proactive and considerate thing you can possibly do is nothing. It is definitely the most popular choice these days. Do nothing, complain about everything. Last two. Everyone spends their time talking about who has it worse, which is why nothing gets better. And remember, making a living is way more important than making a difference, because you're trying to buy your casket, not green grass on everyone's field. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Atlas.
Dude, that was
Oh,
fire,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
was so good, yo. That was so good.
Love
I'm
it.
excited to hear more in the second round. So, Eleanor, if you'd be so kind as to bless us with your words.
Hi. So my second poem is called Service, which is Latin for servitude. So I'll switch my video off. Okay. Often, when I'm woken at 5 a.m., I resent her exacting and imperious demands. I have a right to linger and to lounge and to curl my toes tight into the comfort and protection of my capsule. My self-chosen stillness, interposed with movement, soft covers wrapped around ears and cheeks and head covering. This safety regales me, assures and focuses my breath on non-anticipation. Awaiting neither fear nor disquiet from other olfactory things which happenstance or purpose will take from me this later day. Still, my choice, this stillness, fractured by her demand and interjections, is this existence nothing more than walking servitude? Through sun-parched, paint-flecked bedroom shutter, the abeyance of the sonic trill of autumn robins brings welcome quietude. She calls again with more impatient earnestness, mutedly muttering veiled expletive under breath, lest she sense my inner disobedience. Reveal no outward discord, for not 1 year prior, she glimpsed my transitory fragile state and struck out forcibly without empathy. She could not be soothed. This lesson now subdues the raw, wide open aperture of frailty, not so much to beat other than myself, but just enough to walk the balance beam of temperance, duly seeking avoidance of her intemperate self. I wonder how she would have fared had she been born into some other form. Ants make few demands. Tumbling out of protective sheets and wiping clouded and opaque eyes, inhaling the dread of apprehension, she rests in the doorway, staring unflinchingly through me. There is yet no discourse. A moment later, she's strident and persistent in her disharmonious accord, obligated to this vulnerable and endearing love, whose onerous and persistent commands have been avowed to safeguard. It's not resentment it's not resentment, but a sense of never-ending servile and unrequited drudgery. Approaching her to bend and meet her gaze, and lift her up to nuzzle head into flaxen chin, crowning her head with the soft nips and pecks of butterfly kisses, she purrs.
Was it a kitty? My wife wants to know.
Yeah, it's my cat.
Oh, that was so good. That was so beautiful. And your voice was
Your
just
voice.
mesmerizing.
I wanted to give the impression it was a person.
Yep,
Totally
it was. And
nailed
then that last line, just wow.
Yeah, that threw me off as well, but very well done. Let's give it
Yeah.
up one more time for
Thank
Eleanor
you.
Carrington Finch.
Yeah.
Yes, left me wanting more.
Right
Oh,
on. Yeah.
Welcome
Me
to
too.
Open Minds.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
welcome.
Come
Thank
back,
you.
come back.
I will do,
Please come
definitely.
back.
Everybody's so brilliant. Yeah, your poetry's incredible.
Thank you, yours as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move into the second round of our feature. Sfongo, he crushed it in round 1. For you guys that missed it, the video should be up by the end of this week, so go back and make sure you check that out. Let's all unmute for a moment and give it up for Fongo.
Zilankata.
All right.
Go, here we go.
What time is it there?
It's 1:40 a.m. It's already
All right.
Saturday.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so first of all, if you enjoyed the first set, please make sure that you get my book. My first book, Trials, that I published earlier this year. I'm gonna post the link later. I copied something else, so now the clipboard is something totally different than what I had earlier. Please do get that. It's only $9.99 wherever you are, I believe. And our delivery is something like $15 at most, so depending on where you are as well. So please do get that. Support a poet, buy a book. And I'm really grateful my uncle managed to make it. Yeah, today was a really great day. I got to perform with him for the first time. Thank you very much, Zomkhonto. And I got to perform with Dila Dube. Oh, she's great. Do check that out on my Facebook or on Zomkhonto's Facebook if you follow him. So yeah, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead and read random poems because like my first set mentioned, I forgot my notebook where I had written the original set, so I had to improvise an hour before I got here. So yeah, that's what I did. So now I'm gonna just read random poems from this one. It's Untitled. Baby, these tears you forcefully punch, kick, and whip out of my eyes, they'll flow until infinity. They'll always be a part of me, my offspring, my mini-me's. I'm begging, please stop. This ain't no love. No, this ain't no love. When you said till death do us apart, I didn't know that ring was my sentence. Now I'm stuttering with every letter cause you done rearranged my throat, choking me, reenacting porn, tying me down, claiming that BDSN makes you come. Bitch, please just own up and be a grown-up. You are violent, abusive, and this ain't no love. Peace. Okay, gotta find the next thing on this phone. Okay, so I wrote this poem on the 21st of October. I was participating in a slam, so I wrote this. Nansi Nkonyama, a descendant of rainmakers, my footprints herald growth. I sparkle like glitter, not a diamond nor gold. I am the sun, the source. Touch me on mine, you get scorched. No time to wait for doomsday. Fairy tales, storylines crafted for feeble minds. Like, what the fuck, bro? A bearded gold, astride a winged white stallion piercing the skies. Zinganekwane bafo. But back to this poem, I see bearded goats all day long, huffing and puffing, just so they can enjoy watching the family cross-legged around the kitchen fire, plates on top of legs, munching away at their sweat. I come from Angelele, the reason my bio is home to 3 slam champion titles from 3 countries. That's 4 now. Yeah. Keep me in the goo, as y'all call it, being disrespectful to your audience, biting the hand that feeds you, then crying foul when they ditch you. Now let's talk about you poets. I hear the empty words echoing louder than your hip-hop inspired cadence. You say your words are too deep for people to comprehend. That they say is a red flag. You say ain't a poet. You were vulture trying to mingle away the culture. You offer pussy and power. You offer Gucci and fame. You ain't trying to leave no legacy. Just your semen diving in between any thick leg you see. That's the only time you live with no doubt, taking one step at a time, just so them bitches know know you the king with the D, average, delusional, self-proclaimed alpha males. The only pack behind you contains one last cigarette you are desperately keeping your hand away from, cause you picked up a habit you can't afford, a habit that's adding up to your legacy of being a statistic, another selfless being who'd rather watch the ones you claim to love shatter into a million pieces as they watch you go from bald head to DOD. That's date of death, October 21st, 12 a.m. GMT. The day a village boy with a dream laid waste to your career poetry inspired you to think above numbers and reach geolocation and accent. Bayete.
Bayete Mzilankata, Mpangazi.
Yeah, buddy.
So let's see what next I can make. Okay. So before this poem, I've been active on Clubhouse lately a lot. So I get into these rooms on Clubhouse where they give you prompts, and you write to the prompt there and there. But unfortunately, I never come back to some of those poems, so they are like really short, and I like them like that. This one, the prompt was "The sun is fallen for you." The sun is fallen for you. It bows at your excellence in crafting words, opening windows to your soul for the world to see, that you aren't perfect but a work in progress. The sun gives you praise, for you have mastered the art of turning pain to entertainment, lessening the load off the shoulders of those who listen, because the feeling of community breeds hope, hope that the path might be thorny, but it isn't the destination. Poem. I saw in the comments, Atlas commented, get this guy some background instrumentals. Okay, and I just remembered that I forgot for my set earlier, I forgot one part that I had planned to just throw in there. It goes like something like this. Let's try. Look. Everybody stand up for the village boy with the dream. I got a dream like Martin Luther King. I might get killed for the shit that I speak, but still I jump on the beat and the speed. My life, my truth, and the way that I live. Smoke weed, meditate, repeat, smoke weed, levitate to a beamer for prepping a flight to all the kids who used to go to school barefoot. I'll stop there. This next poem is titled Heathen. I wrote it in 2018 when I was really angry. It mostly was people around my area because for them it was something totally different, that I didn't believe in any God or anything like that. So I wrote this poem in response to it. They call me a heathen just because I refuse to identify as a Christian. So they hit me. They call me a heathen just because I refuse to be Christian. Maybe I should hit them. Hit them with these words of wisdom I draw from the all-knowing mind that teaches me to mind mine as I'm waking this gold mine. But no, they do not listen. Way they look at me, they see a heathen. Way they look at me, they see an abomination that should burn in hell. So they hit me. They hit me hard with judgmental stares every time they see me light a blunt. Their words are sharp like spears. But tell me, what's an Asakai to a semi-automatic? Well, you can ask Shaka Zulu and John Ernest. Say they call me a heathen just because I refuse to be Christian. Well, let me check them. Their holy book clearly commands that ye shall not judge, yet they've concluded that Prophet Madungwe needs to check into a mental institution. They endorse Rhapsody of Realities, but say Guti has lost his way by publishing the Kingdom Life. Should I tell them that their Bible isn't according to the Lord, but according to some king named James? No disrespect to his highness, but I think his name got lost in translation. It should be spelled G-E-E-R-I-M-S, because yes, that's what every religion is. And no, I am not a heathen. Now back to these hypocrites. Last night she was screaming, Hara, Hara, oh God, yes, Lord. But no, she ain't got a ring on her finger. Straight from his head, he can recite Ephesians 6 verse 1. But when his mother says, son, do the dishes, he'll be like, nah, mommy, I'm late for choir practice. Motherfucking hypocrites, they say but do not practice. Theorizing without action, praying with their eyes closed because they scared Jesus might see through them. Peace.
Come here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so this is gonna be my last poem. I think I'm gonna just title it Rebel at the end of the day, because that's what I had titled it first, but then 2 years ago I just decided to take the title down, but I'm like, okay, let's bring that one back. So this is Rebel. Mute your mics, I want to share a perspective. 400 years of oppression and we still skimming. No, we ain't dead, we are alive and kicking. Still working hard to free our people. Staying true to who we are like Kunta Kinte. Putting out the damage fueled by religion on our land. Healing the scars inflicted on our ancestors. A luta continua, comrades. The rebellion will end the day we rule ourselves. The rebellion is no longer against the white men, but against the black men who went to war with the white men, came back victorious, screaming, yeah, yeah, my nigga, we got the land, only to shade between himself and his friends, neglecting the people. See, I don't believe that colonialism ever ended, no. It just changed faces. Do pardon me for not celebrating April 18. I was born on November 1897, but nah, I wasn't born free. I survived one president, but nah, I'm not sure if I'll survive the current one, because every day I found myself writing letters to him, asking what he meant by Second Republic, legalizing freedom of speech. But when we speak, they snatch us from our kids and mercilessly beat our bodies. But no, we'll never conform to the system. If we do not change it before we die, trust me, we are going to manipulate it so that the kids who come after us can pick up and continue the struggle until all greed is eradicated. Peace. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a blessed night.
Yeah, let's all give it up for
Move,
Oh, yeah.
Milankata.
That was incredible.
Bangazita.
Yeah.
What's that
Move.
book?
Yes, so
Tell us
Right
about that
on.
book again.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great
Amazing.
feature.
Tell us about that
Yeah.
book again. Tell us about that book again.
Yeah, go ahead and post that link tree so we can all buy that book.
All right, let me try and grab the link real quick. I was just trying to give my dog some love because it thought maybe I didn't love it anymore because I was trying to chase it away. Like I said, thank you very much, everyone, for coming out here tonight. Thank you very much, Thomas. Thank you very much, Catalyst, for hosting this very, very safe space. Like I said, the first open mic I've been to, and people are like smoking, freely smoking. There's like more than one individual who's smoking. Thank you very much. To everyone that I met here for the first time. I just want to know that I love you all. If our paths are meant to cross, definitely we are going to meet if we are willing, if we put in the action. And I'm gonna be in Europe from the 20th of December up until like the 15th of January. I'll be in Italy for up until like the 1st of January. Then I'll be able to move around. So if you are somewhere where I can reach you, let's try and see and take selfies and show the people that we are one, we are a community. Other than that, thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Peace.
Yes. Thank you so much, man. That was an amazing feature. Oh, I'm sure everyone here would love to meet you in person. I hope we personally get to meet. And yeah, you know, take selfies if y'all meet up. You know, I'm gonna link everyone up in the thank you emails because we're trying to build a community here of creative, open-minded people, right? We're all one family from all across the globe, you know? And we all have one common goal, and that's to raise the energy and the consciousness of all humanity to make this place a better place for future generations. And yeah.
I really love your space. It's a very spiritual space, and I appreciate it.
Definitely. All right, so we're gonna let the overseas people go first. Lantern, if you want to go ahead and start us off with round 2, that would be much appreciated.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. Revelations. The iridescence of the moon has no brush, yet she paints the night with a luminous glow. The stars have no voice for magical songs, yet they sing in the stillness of silence. The warmth of the sun kissing my cheeks awakens within my ancient smile, like one raising Lazarus to life. Nature can be so beautiful. It commands serenity from my lips and even makes the heart graceful like a ballerina. No more the dark smells pervading my loneliness and guilt. The light of your luster washes my breath with 1,000 rays of glimmer. Took me a while to comprehend. You have raised me like Lazarus once again. Attempting to transform my own nature, the sweet nicotine rebelled within my sodden state. The toxic fumes of surreal experiments only hastened my demise. Yet you came in my predicament, shielding me from destruction. Now, whenever I think of you, my face glows like fireflies, and the heavens blush, even as the dark night whispers bird songs in the magnificence of the soul. Mesmerized by the breaking of waves, I listen to the symphony of the wind, of how she speaks of time past and whispering dreams, of the pain of millennial sorrows, the tenderness of love. I lie on the beauty of twilight, enchanted by the light of perennial entities which kiss my soul. The night sky holds my gaze. We dance on the crest of rolling tides as the wind continued her illumining conversations. She speaks of the magic of smiles, of the miracle of sunrise, and the moon kisses my cheeks as I bow in sacred gratitude. She sings of the glories of man, of the undaunted courage of a woman's sacrifice, and my heart becomes a field of prayer. She talks of life's struggles, of how light shines in Jerusalem, even when the shadows are dense, that we can only measure the darkness by the rays of an effulgence we once knew. I listen, and my tears become a raiment for the beloved. Have wine, she says, go forth and love, for are not your desires the same adversity that will fashion you into gold? And how shall you laugh if you know no weeping? Be patient, for the weaving of the inner alchemist never ceases. She spins and spins a zillion revolutions until every indiscretion is wiped clean and the yarn returns to its state of grandeur. You are that yarn, you are that grandeur. Even though you may not feel it, I can see 1 trillion candles glittering in your core. Then the waves subsided and the wind blew softly, gently caressing my spirit. The fire of my essence burned with the setting sun. Fear not, she said, before becoming silent. I am with you always, even unto the edge of eternal time. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Yes, so powerful, so beautiful, elegant.
Thank you. So
Crushing.
good,
Thank
Lantern.
you so much. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
always
Thank
such an
you.
honor to have you here with us, man.
Me too, and igualmente, likewise. It's muy amable, you're very kind.
So many lines, man. So many elegant lines. Like it's gorgeous.
Yeah. It
Lanta,
is a gift, man. A true
Yes,
gift.
were you speaking another language there just now?
I spoke few words in Spanish.
Oh, in Spanish. Okay, I couldn't tell from I wasn't sure what it was because I don't speak Spanish. Thank you.
Probablemente, yes, likewise.
Igualmente, I said. It
Yes.
means equally or likewise. Then I said, it's muy amable. It means you're very kind.
Awesome. All right. So next up on the mic, we got Vayl. Vayl, if you'd that was interesting earlier. You're like, I want to try to read some positivity.
Oh, that was so good.
And so if you could try to keep that going, like I know you want to start writing more positive stuff. Like, let's see what you got.
We'll go wherever you take
yeah,
us.
or we'll go wherever you take us. I follow you to battle. I'll follow you to the laughter. I'll go wherever you take us. Let's give it up for Vayl.
Coincidentally, I picked a funny poem.
Oh, excellent.
Well, I think it's funny, so we'll see.
I'm sure most of us will too.
Okay, so I'll preface this by saying that when this poem was written, I had one platonic partner who is my dear partner and caregiver. We've been best friends since we were 13. They know everything about me and they're my family. And I had no romantic partners. Now I have two romantic partners, one in Pittsburgh where I live and one in Chicago. So they all know about each other. It's all good. But the impetus for this poem is no longer an issue, and thank God. Sayer type contact. Day 492 of the pandemic. Everyone on the internet who is my age assumes I am about 28 years old, except for those I have specifically contradicted. I am frequently addressed as though I am an especially precocious wunderkind. This is uncomfortable. Everyone else on the internet also assumes I am about 28 years old until corrected. This makes for some awkwardly age-inappropriate propositions from multiple age groups. I am growing desperate. Did you know that the qualifications for high-quality poetry production are nearly identical to those of a particularly robust and evocative sexting participant? Everyone always says detailed descriptions, but what they really mean is 3 words each for fuck, pussy, cock, and cum. Mix liberally, apply often, and just keep pumping until something erupts, right? God, what I would give for a big, strong poet with a fucking filthy mind, who is also into 5-foot-tall envies with green hair and weird pixie features. I have to change that to purple. In unrelated news, did you know that complex, nuanced erotica is equally popular among femme, masc, and non-binary communities? Do you realize the sheer number of times someone has come with a Jane Austen quote in mind? Mr. Darcy might as well be one of the Winchester boys for how often he lands in fan fiction. I'm growing desperate. Chat 1. We begin. He says, cock. I say, my trembling lower lip glistens as the tip of my tongue passes over it, my wide eyes staring up at you, hungry and waiting. He says, pussy. He says, fuck. I explain what I would like to do to the skin between his fingers with my tongue while I am kneeling before him, and immediately before I lift my eyes to meet his, as his hand ever so slightly tightens, tears welling up as he watches, he says, come, and leaves. Chat 2. He says, I reach for your gown in the twilight beneath the trees as our two peoples come together in the ancient rite of peace and bonding. I say, I meet your hands eagerly, the moment of truth upon us, our fates intertwined as the fire of our passion rises up into the night. I lose myself in your lips. He says, your body enraptures me, lust overtakes me, I must have you now ere I die of this bliss. I say, my hands caress your chest, lingering downward toward the straining length rising to meet them. He says, fuck. He says, amazing. He leaves. Chat 3. He says, pussy. I say, the power structures inherent in Western binary cis-heteronormative mating rituals are the result of repression of the id by societal mores, leading to fetishization of taboo practices and a pseudo-dissociative drive for publicly strong individuals to enjoy being dominated in sexual roleplay, and oftentimes vice versa. He says, come, and leaves. Chat 4. He says, what is the nature of your problem? I say, the pursuit of intimacy is inherently flawed in a capitalist society that virtually requires its components to function with artificial emotional autonomy in order to maintain workforce productivity by eliminating support structures that ameliorate the psychic damage perpetuated by exploitative systems of economic hierarchy. He says, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I say, no one has ever made me come who I did not care about. Lust is inherently melded to empathy in me. My kink is your pleasure, my climax, your release. If I do not care how you feel, you cannot make me feel anything. He says, I'm sorry, please select from the following options. I say, will you fuck me while I cry? He says, say your type, accounts. Say your type, technical support. He says, say your type, contact. It is day 493 of the pandemic. I am growing desperate.
All right, that was so good. That was so funny and so true and just amazing. I love it.
So good. So good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a stark contrast of like usually you're so like intense and gripping and like you have such a grasp on like social commentary, which really bled through in that, but in a very comedic way. And we all appreciate it. That was amazing. So amazing. So coming up next, we got Kristi Scribbles. Kristi, if you'd like to bless us with your words, we'd appreciate it.
So glad to be here tonight. Yeah, this is one I wrote yesterday. The block of writing sits upon my chest, so heavy, so concrete, so breathtaking, taking my breath as I try to spill words upon page, as I try to put down where I am, how I feel, what is happening, into the poem of me, into my poetry that has always helped, that has always filtered my weakness, my sadness, my pain into my words, transmuting through the process. But today all I got is a bunch of monotonous. The monotonous of the heavy of the brick upon my chest, the denseness of feelings of the world around me, of the house around me, of the husband in the room with the COVID, unable to escape, unable to function. I am unable to go see my mom. That's what I needed, was to see her and feel her and hold her, but not this time, not this place. This time and place, this standstill space as I fight for the words that I write, for the celebrating of a holiday I don't even fucking believe in anymore. I don't even trust anymore who to trust, who to believe, who to be. I am inside this moment of the block, of the weight that sits right on top as I try to still work through. Push through is what I keep hearing. My team, my guides, my angels, they are here to hold me and to console me as the tears fall atop this block. As the words fall onto this page, they sit and wait for me to breathe and shift and believe again. They are my rock. They are my team. They are my hope. I hear breathe. I hear breathe. And so I do. And so I am. Still breathing, still reaching, still believing. And all at once I feel it. The heaviness I thought was a block is the divineness that is my rock, holding me here onto the earth into this moment, keeps me from floating away. And it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to cry and be okay and not be okay. It's okay to not be okay, to be angry, to be fearful, to be lonely, to be tearful, to not know what to say, and not have anyone to call, and not want to call anyone, and not have anyone at all. As my tears fall, as my tears fall, my 7-year-old son comes into the room with a run and tells me to come see the parade, Mom, the dancers, the prancers, the celebration. And I run and I go and I see his joy, his love, his laughter. I see the sun inside of him. I see the joy that guides him, and I sit and I cuddle. And Mariah sings All I Want for Christmas. And my son hugs me and whispers, you, Mom, that's all I want for Christmas. and the world stops, and my heart brightens, and the beating continues. And the tears keep going, keep flowing, keep believing, keep knowing. Joy is there, joy is here. Look for the joy, look through the tears, and fuck the COVID. Thank you.
Wow. That was so good. He
I
wrote
know,
that
I get it,
yesterday.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm crying for a different reason.
yeah. That was amazing. And you know, you're always welcome in this family here. You know, we're part of that. We're part of that rock holding you down. And we're so grateful for you to be here with us to share those words, because that was so beautiful and powerful. And man.
You mommy, like, what do I want for Christmas? You mommy? Like, oh.
Yeah, that line there, like, oh my goodness, that's all I want for Christmas is you, mommy. Like, oh,
that's crazy.
That was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, coming up next, we've got Zomkhonto. Let's give it up for Zomkhonto.
Yeah, Zomkhonto. Yeah.
They're dreaming of a one world currency. Within the nightmare of this great food emergency, they've got swimming pools overflowing with Hennessy. And Danny ain't had a bath for like a week. Listen when he speaks. He's the son of an engineer that's said to have disappeared, vanished into the thinnest air. In the casino, you'll find him there. And Danny ain't sober today, so you're forced to hear the pain that has interfered, but Danny has persevered. You'll be hard-pressed to find Donny sporting a beard, but when he does, his goatee is always soaking in beer, trying to outsmart a broken heart that's soaking in tears. A gambler, hoping he gets lucky this year. His life is one huge slot machine with nothing in it. Only an evil spirit that keeps snatching his winnings stands close to him, whispering, keep giving the coin, and when the coin starts clinking, it swallows it in an instant, like a chameleon to a fly. He dreams of millions, but dies every time his daughter cries because she's hungry. Each to his own, we all out for the money. But last night I dreamt the slot machine spent $1 for Danny. It's a struggle for lost souls, caught in this rainstorm, wishing they weren't born. I sit and listen because their life is a sad poem, written with sharp thorns. And when they bleed, they walk on. They got swimming pools overflowing with Hennessy. And Tracy ain't had a bath for like a week. Listen when she speaks. She was the homecoming queen, lost in this dream of dreaming, gleaming lights that turned out to be a horror film. Instead of supermodel, she won a different lotto. And now she does the catwalk down a Listerine bottle. The glistening fate on her face, whispering alcohol and meth. Her blundering steps defy her lingering breath. Her high school tiara is the only evidence left of her former beauty. She carries it every place she has slept. Plus the major accident that left her with a limp in her step. She's lost, barely clinging off that government check. If she'd never believed in words that filtered like a sieve into her dream of being the most beautiful the world had ever seen, then maybe she would be more than just 5 aborted babies. I dreamt of a fashion magazine. On the cover was Trace. Thank you.
Wow. That was intense, yo. The slot machine reference, man. Wow. Yo, your performance too, every time, man. You just like grab us and just, oh, so good, man.
That is actually
So
a true
good.
story
So
with
glad
the
you
two
was able
names
to-
changed, just in respect of those two
Yeah.
people. But it's a true story, and
Yeah.
I hope where they are safe and that they find their way, you know, because we met when I was homeless at one time, and those two were some of the two loveliest people I'd ever met, you know. So I hope where they are, that they find their way through life, you know, because they were good, you know. Sometimes it's just life circumstances that destroy people's, you know, people's beauty, because that's what they dreamed, you know.
Yeah.
She wanted to be the most beautiful ever and be in these pageants, and the world turned around, and she actually did carry that high school tiara, you know, everywhere that she went. So
Mr. Zomkhonto, do you, I don't know if you've heard, but I have a play opening in New York in April, and it is 5 scenes following 5 homeless characters, because I was also homeless for several years when I was younger.
Wow.
And it's inspired. It's not anybody's stories in real life, but it's all inspired by people I knew.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel you so much on knowing those people and seeing how
And I
beautiful.
would love to see it, you know. Keep reminding me. Keep reminding me, and that would be such a beautiful thing to watch. One love.
Thank you.
Awesome, excellent.
Yeah, you know, change is possible, you know, and I mean, poverty is the most expensive thing. That's why some people never come out of it.
Yeah.
So, but then, you know, it's beautiful when you see them do. So I'd love to meet them someday, looking good, you know. Anyway, one love. Thank you for this space. I appreciate it.
Oh, we got the Magus, Gustav.
So I have 3 quick ones. This is Sinatra Sonata. Like Sinatra with stigmata nailed to an invisible cross, I did it my way. I'm my own boss. I'm the chairman of the board of me. That's what it means to be free, not some dystopian theocracy, dangerous book burning in the fire, witchcraft for a declining empire. It had to be you to fly me to the moon. You'll get what's coming to you soon. Enough's enough. The tough soliloquy. I'm not asking for you to get happy. I'm asking for your rage. Let me try again. Stand up now or wind up in a cage. It's all or nothing at all time for democracy. Send in the clowns is the cry of idiocracy. The best is yet to come. The hollow words spoken. It's my way of life they're choking. We're more than strangers in the night. We're comrades in this crucial fight. Let me be frank, not Manchurian candidated. I know times are hard and you're frustrated, but something stupid is going on in the USA. It's time for you and me to fight for our rights today. This is called Glossolalia. I'll wrap around you like a vine, sinuously will intertwine. Speaking in tongues is glossolalia. I celebrate your body, a Saturnalia, exchanging glances and DNA, an all-consuming passion play. Face to face or 69, I am famished, on you I dine. One taste of you and I'm delirious. You're a drug, but not deleterious. I want to find you, feel you in my veins. You're hot, that's true, but you've got brains. The sexiest organs inside that cranium, generating heat like it's uranium. Burn down beds like pyromaniacs, writhing, screaming to a massive climax. This is called Syzygy. Behold our loving energy. When stars align, it's syzygy. Open minds, poets, creative diversity. We spit in the face of adversity. Born on wings of eloquence, dropping truths of consequence. Letters forming words of magic, transforming trauma and the tragic. Distill from pain the raw emotion. Pour on the page like an ocean. We keep writing so we don't drown. With every adjective, adverb, verb, and noun, thoughts coalesce that will astound. Watch these weirdos get profound. On Friday night, the place to be. Open minds, open mic, you see. Our voices coming down the wire. We set this fucking Zoom on fire. Peace. Thank you.
Buddy. Yeah,
You
buddy.
like broke Zoom earlier.
He broke Zoom earlier. He
So
set
good.
it on fire.
Feel
All
the
right, so
power.
coming up next, we got Tori B. So y'all know the routine. Let's
Mm.
unmute, let's laugh, let's show her how funny she actually is, because my goodness, we trying to get her a Netflix special. We want to see that happen one day. So she's coming out here. She's trying out jokes. She's seeing what the crowd reacts. So let's all unmute and give it up for Tori B.
Hey.
Tori! Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Let's see. You guys know what a pallbearer is?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't.
Unfortunately.
I did
Okay.
not.
It's not a polar bear.
No. So my friend sends me a text and he says, I'm going to be a pallbearer for the first time. And I say, congratulations.
Oh Lord.
So fucking stupid.
Oh,
I have so much to learn from musicians and poets because the timing, like listening to you guys go at your pace and like how you practice and rehearse, like joke telling is a similar language. And so it's like, it's good for me to just like expand my mind and like hear you guys putting words together. I'm like, that is what I need to do. I need to sit and put the words together. So in round one, I was talking a lot about not having a kid, you know, and that IUD that I got that like set my life on this course. Well, turns out those fail sometimes.
no, Jesus. God have mercy.
Yeah. And so I just put the pieces together as I was sitting here listening to all of you. I was like, I had a chemical moment in my body where I realized I was pregnant without actually realizing it, because I had this manic experience where I went into full psychosis and was on the floor laboring as if I was having 10 human babies.
That hurts.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Turns out I was just really constipated. But I was also a little bit pregnant. I was like microdosing like pregnancy. It was just like imagining like cell biology, you know, like they were very tiny cells that were like being expelled through my body, but it was enough to get me a 5150. So for those of you, that's California lingo for a involuntary psychiatric hold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm a bit of a crazy head, you know? Like I take pills to just like whip my psychosis into submission. I'm like down boy. You know, like whack-a-mole. Just these like feelings come up. I have the depressive spells coming up. You know, this week just like threw me for a limb. I was like, it's Friday. I didn't work yesterday. Is it Sunday? What does time even mean? Is this all just a construct? Am I gonna go to Thomas and Catalyst's Open Minds Open Mic? Yes, I definitely am. I wonder if I'm talking too loud and my grandma's downstairs thinking like, Tori, what you doing up there? What are you doing in my attic? And I'm so glad I stayed because there was little pieces and bits that I'm like, oh, that's part of my mission too, you know, like trying to cut back on alcohol, trying to stay housed. You know, it's fucking scary in this climate. You know, you guys know, some of you know, some of you don't know. When I was in Los Angeles, my rent was just a stack of parking tickets. There is nothing more humiliating than waking up in a Nissan with a cup of pee next to you and a parking ticket slapped on your windshield. Oh my God. So I felt like Mary walking through the desert, pregnant with child, when I went to the unemployment office in Pomona, California. I went into the unemployment office and they were like, here's a list of ways that you can become a productive capitalist cog in the wheel, you know? And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go give a blowjob in a car, and that's how we're gonna run this one, because A bitch cannot stay employed. Cannot stay employed. I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary at my job. First time I've ever held a job for a year.
Wow.
I'm gonna make myself a little cake.
That's impressive though.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
And
can't do
then
that.
I'm probably gonna quit because, you know, obviously I'm doing great in life.
Yeah, right.
I'll close up with this with my like I'm so anti-work. I'm like, why do we have to labor to afford our basic human necessities? You know, like to me that's the funniest thing. Like, and it's so deeply, deeply unfunny that I have to just find levity in it. So my grandmother, you know, she's a boomer. And she was like, you know, when I was your age, I had 2 school-age children and 2.5 jobs. And I was like, well, Grandma, I have 0 kids, so I intend to have 0 job. I got nobody to support. So all right. I think that's all I have. I opened up to like a really random page and all right, one last one. So
All right. Yeah.
I saw I saw this little what are they called? Headlines. I saw a headline and it said being unhappy and lonely accelerates aging more than smoking.
Oh.
Wow.
And I said, light me up, Daddy. The next smoke out is on me. Blunts in rotation. In all reality, I hope we all get to share a nice spliff here or there somewhere in the future. I'm gonna stay for the rest of everybody's sets and probably catch this on the YouTubes as well because we're doing something special here. This is thank you for giving me the space to do something different from what you guys are all doing, and know that I very much appreciate listening to all of you and learning from you as well. So, and look, there's a cat. Perfect. Perfection.
Yeah,
Thank you all.
It's my cat hat.
So good, Tori. Such a
Yeah,
strong
so
set.
good, Tori. And we really appreciate having you here to make us laugh, you know, to cut up the monotony of some of these poems that get like sometimes really deep and intense, right? So it's good to kind of laugh, you know, and then get back to like some harsh truths about like the state of the world and what have you. And coming up next, we have Carmen Gil. So Carmen, if you would be so kind as to bless us with your words, we'd appreciate it.
Thank you. This is another freestyle. It's called Are You Not? Are you not beautiful with eyes slicked of toasted honey, skin kissed by the warm sun rays, enough to remind me of my favorite baked bread? Are you not beautiful? For you remind me of warmth and resilience, such as earth made clay kissed by the crimson flames, scorched to the touch. Yet, those flames created and molded such a beauty. Are you not lovely? Like the silk against your skin after a long day of surviving. Are you not lovely? Like the tender smile of a genuine stranger, a smile that truly reaches the eyes. Are you not amazing? With a mind so brilliant that can turn a simple look into a song, a passing scene into a poem, a thought into a book. With a voice so soothing, its calm tears into smiles, storms into the puddles we've jumped in during laughter. A presence so warm yet strong, one that allows strangers to open up, find solace in you, yet know that you are your own and other, that you can stand next to the mighty and not falter. Are you not strong? Are you not delightful? Are you not an overthinker and that makes you even more lovable? Are you not everything and yet so much more? My darling, aren't you not amazing? No, you are indescribable, a beautiful disarray of chaotic thoughts that leave me speechless, a force beyond control yet guided, my darling. You are amazing, for you are me. Thank you.
Love that. What a
Yeah.
blessing. Volunteer
Yeah,
yourself.
that
You
was
are amazing,
gorgeous.
Carmen.
So
Oh,
good.
Right
that
on.
was so good. So good. All right. It looks like up next we got D Allen. Is D still in the house here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. So we got D Allen coming up next. D, if you would like to bless us, I know you like to share screen. Go ahead. Do what you do. Bless us with those words, my brother.
I will. 2 more poems for y'all, which come from my new and 7th book, Plans. From pages 20 and 21, this is called Only These Remain. Only these remain, anatomical remains, construction sites unearthed, disconnected joints. Only these remain, skeletal remains, shell mounds disturbed, buried no more, bag tagged and stored in a file cabinet drawer. Only these remain, ancestral remains, evidence that they existed here long before us others. Some came as settlers, some as captives. Only these remain, North American remains, Native American remains. The university cellar is no place for 11,000 indigenous bones, final rest. Only these remain, human remains. Crimes of academia, descendants still grieve, gestures of dishonor, a lonely ghost won't forgive. That first poem was called Only These Remain.
That was
And
so
now
good,
for the
man.
for the last poem. The last one's going to be on a deeply personal tip. So I'm going to use the share screen feature one more time. From page 22 of Plans, an ode to a friend who was like the closest thing to a little brother to me. This is called Standing There. Texas, Oklahoma, South Dakota, California. True native son, native to this continent. Long way from the res, Lakota son. Trying to stay alive in this capitalist reality which wants red people gone. He's a young father of 22 to a small girl of 5. Surrogate uncle to children of the Poe. Has a village that has his back, even when his daughter and he feel helpless and alone, trying to stay alive in this white settler reality which wants red people gone, is an act of resistance in itself. That last poem was called Standing Bear, from my friend Philip Standing Bear and his daughter Cheyenne. Both poems come from my new and 7th book, Plans, now available from Oakland's own Nomadic Press. From this mic to your ears, I'm D. Allen. Thanks for listening. Every month is Native American Heritage Month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on,
dude.
That
Really?
was
Right,
beautiful.
D.
Hell yeah.
That was
Good
really-
work.
And congratulations on your 7th book, my brother. That is
Oh,
wonderful, man.
oh, that's
We're
Well-
looking forward.
dedication, man.
All right, so next we got up on the list here, CP Mays. CP Mays, do you want to unleash the thunder on us all?
I'm gonna try to. We'll see what happens. 2 pieces, right? Yeah. It was a writing prompt given to me, write a Valentine's Day poem. So in true Mays fashion, I dedicated it to Grim Love. She tried to convince me that outlaws die alone. Tried to convince me that cars were better than hotels. Tried to blowjob my trick candle and failed miserably. She felt as if she had a body that angels in heaven would go window shopping for. Felt as if her heart spoke, fuck, why won't you just love me? And why won't you just fuck me way too fluidly? Felt as if Christmas and Easter Sunday church services were just religious porno for frugal people who desperately needed to believe in second comings. She needed a smile that wouldn't crack under pressure. She needed a garter belt she hung her virginity from. She needed to know what I knew she didn't know already, the coffin between her legs where men were going to die. Her avalanche orgasms left lingerie sweat inside the corners of my mouth for safekeeping. Sensuous liquid sea foam lathered skin slide and leg whisper. Filthy throat swallow her sexy seizure mist and ambrosia hush until her hip bone bumped the halo off my head by accident. Kiss me like a busted condom maid so I won't forget you. Cardiac arrest me so I can stop pressing charges against myself. Tell your heart on sleeve I wear mine under my skirts. Tell I know it hurts that my lonely says fuck yeah, it does. Tell it takes time to heal all wounds. To pay me no never mind. Tell pay me no never mind that the love of Jesus already does. As a matter of fact, call God and ask him if he answers his voicemails. Ask him if he's made in my image, then he must be that attention whore. Ask him if he loves me, then why won't he just say it to my face? I don't understand why the only times I feel God is in morning after pills and generic birth control tests that pop negative. I don't understand why the only thing the book of Revelation proves is that Jesus is that love junkie throwing temper tantrums if you don't love him back. I don't understand why I was body, mind, soul blessed with beautiful, but why men only ask questions when conversing with me. I'm not a blasphemer, Maze. I'm just a rhetorical question in need of actual answers, like, if love dies in a forest and no one's around to hear it, does heartbreak sound like a broken smile? Say, bartender, bring me another apple martini with a shot of cheap whiskey and keep it fucking coming. I may be a grim love to you, Maze, but I got a body that lonely one night standing angels in heaven whisper, hallelujah for, my dearest grim reaper. Maybe cars are better than hotels. Maybe outlaws like me are destined to die alone. Maybe if you didn't try to blowjob my trick candle, maybe if you didn't fail so miserably, our low self-esteem would actually receive a standing ovation.
Yo, my
The
God.
complexity of that poem.
My God.
Always with that
Holy
fire.
The
shit.
complexity of that poem.
What the
Yo,
fuck,
I'm
dude?
so excited for next
You're
Friday.
so,
We
I'm
are
so
featuring
excited.
CP Maze.
I'm
Oh, that's
so
gonna be
excited.
dope.
Man. Oh man, CP Maze.
Wow.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Oh my
CP
God.
Maze, man.
The last one. I think about
Yo.
like a lot of y'all, like whether
Yes.
we were wallflowers or the popular kids or the ones smoking joints, you know, by the track outside, or, you know, picking fights in hallways or whatever. Like I was the bully who bullied bullies, because I can't fucking stand a bully. Like that was me, the little skinny, awkward kid with the big glasses, right? So to come around now, like, and see so much beautiful shit we do as artists, it's amazing. So this was kind of to pay homage to a clique of artists I run with. It's called The Year Was 2006. You will never be able to buy me, but you can for damn sure borrow the bottom lines of these middle flip fingers. I can finance you 2 fuck yous at a hallelujah high interest rated us as a force to be fucking reckoned with. The year was 2006. Too rich with character to be bought by anyone. A cluster of 20-something low self-esteems, a bunch of balancing act basket cases. We lubricated our longing for self-love by throwing back shot after shot of asphalt elixirs, self-medicating mixtures of hydrocodone, pain pills, codeine, X pills, beer mixed with liquor, mushrooms mixed with dry cereal. Listen to me carefully, motherfucker. I said we couldn't be bought by anyone. We rented out rooms in the Lion's Den without paying rent, furnished figurative language with cigarette butts, and strangers best believe that you are goddamn beautiful. Professors were dumbfounded by our youth of fiction, viewed pimping promoters the way we view pimping preachers and pastors as nothing more than buffet collection plates of bastards. Don't you dare ask us if we believed in God. Motherfucker, we knew him personally. Feel free to ask him. Go ahead, ask him, ask God how often, if ever, he's ever forgotten to believe in us. Not often. Do you know how many meals I miss solely surviving off the words I spit? Too often, cracking smiles like pickable coffin strings, like nightmares racing up the dead. Pardon the I'm for the people posted up on my tongue, but why won't someone turn up the music in my head? I forgot which one sounds like God. Where were you when you last attended funeral services for your own goddamn dream? Wrapped in unemployment sections of newspapers, I'd rather punch a clock before slapping a snooze button. Dare any cop to cardiac arrest me for heart beating up time. There are ghosts slanging dope in your childhood, pickpockets robbing your ambition right underneath your nose. Fiends, crackheads, junkies are all dying to tell you love is the very first gateway drug, but you won't listen because the music's too loud in the house pity party that's in your head. Your rib cage is a hole in the wall where your heart lays in fetal position. The lifelines in your hands are really frayed loose nooses of where what you hold on to is dying from accidentally falling in love with yourself. It's trying to blackmail you again. It doesn't want you to run circles around your halo as if you just hit a fucking home run, burying, hanging our late night sessions just like these. We had killers and convicts holding conversations with tenured professors and religious study theologists. We were anthropologists and fashion majors, high school teachers and sign language interpreters, self-employed businessmen and double majoring college graduates. We were restaurant waiters and servers and busboys and barbacks. We were 3 a.m. late night drummer boys and left-handed guitar players, tap dancers and interpretive dancers and sultry soul singers. We were hippies and graphic design artists. We were classically trained pianists and ballet dancers. We graduated from Juilliard School of Music and Juilliard School of Dance. We were exercise physiologists and part-time psychologists. Once a Marine, always a Marine I am, a coterie of fiction defying a heaven of a hallelujah. We are all high wire acts saying fuck a goddamn safety net. We were contract killers of catharsis, a cement mixture of killers of the page. The word art hidden in the word heart. And motherfucker, we couldn't be bought anyone. Thank y'all.
Yo.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
dude.
Oh my God, why are you not famous? Oh my God. You are
Yo.
so
Yeah,
freaking
holy shit.
high and
Get him there.
humble.
Yeah, we got to get him there, man. We all got to boost him there, man. We
Yeah.
getting him there.
I'm an extension of all the people, all the writers I come across, man. So thank y'all. Like, I steal a little bit from everybody, man. Let's do it. Like, let's borrow and get
That's what
better,
open
you know?
minds is all about, man. We all getting together, yo. We creating a movement, yo. This thing has just started. I think it's only been like 3 months we've been doing this for. You know what I'm saying? It's still in its infancy, but I think so far we've created a pretty cool family, man, of some like dope ass artists, yo. And everyone's got their own style, and we all just kind of feed off each other. I know I've grown as a poet. I'm sure everyone else who has been coming to these things have grown as a poet and as a person, and we just raising that. Yeah, raising that consciousness level, raising that creativity level. We all staying connected and stuff. So up next, we got another person who brings a whole new style to the game that we appreciate so much. Atlas, if you want to go ahead and unmute and bless us with your words, brother, we'd appreciate it. Yeah, you gotta bring us back down from that height, man, with that focused energy, man, that logic, that, you know what I'm saying?
Genuinely, wholeheartedly, ask the people you care about, how are you? I don't have an incredible answer on how you can find more joy, success, or love in your life, but I do believe that sometimes the right question is more effective than any answer. I don't know about you, but I go days without my phone ringing, weeks without a knock at my door. And don't even ask me how long it's been since I received a handwritten letter in the mail. At this point in time, I would just settle for a thoughtful, considerate email. I honestly don't know what bothers me more: how often telemarketers call me, or how seldom my friends and family do. Regardless of the temperature outside, the world has become so cold. Social distancing has expanded much further than 6 feet. It's so hard to even engage in conversations these days because everyone focuses on all of their differences: how people vote, whether or not they get vaccinated, their religious beliefs, what news they believe, what channels they watch. So many of us have lost our faith in politicians, scientists, in God. But the world will fall apart if we continue to lose faith in each other and in ourselves. We need to focus on the many things we all universally have in common. We all need food, water, shelter, sleep. We get sad. We get lonely. We want to be loved. We want to feel like we matter. We seek to create memories and share those memories with others. No one wants to be the only one in every single photo they have. And yet, despite knowing this, there are people starving with a fridge full of food. They hunger for purpose. They thirst for conversation. There are people who live in abundance. Their homes are filled, but they feel inescapably empty. There are people who feel alone in crowded rooms. They just want someone, anyone, to look away from their cell phone screen and into their eyes to acknowledge they exist. There are people in warm, cozy homes that are frozen in place, trapped by their fears and their anxieties. There are people with beautiful voices who suffer in silence. I believe that so many of us want nothing more than for someone to just genuinely ask us, how are you? And then give us the time, the space, and the patience it takes for us to answer a seemingly simple question after being conditioned for the entirety of our life to either not answer, say, fine, how are you? Or just give the answer we think the other person wants to hear. I think, I feel, I believe that it's a matter of life and death. I know that 3 words can change someone's life, whether it's the person saying it or the person hearing it. I know that to be true. I know it takes only a few minutes to save someone's life because I know it takes only a few minutes for someone who feels alone, afraid, and abandoned to take their own life. I learned this lesson the worst way it can be taught. I lost my 26-year-old niece, a friend of 17 years, and a friend of 6 years in this past year. In regards to my beautiful niece, everyone looked at her social media and the photos that she posted and assumed she was perfectly fine. But no one called. No one knocked on her door. No one took the time to ask her, "How are you?" And now no one can. They were so busy enjoying the show, just sitting in the seats, spectating, that no one took the time to realize everything backstage was falling apart and on fire. So, whether you feel like you know me, whether I've garnered your rapport, your attention, your reputability, whatever the case may be, what I will tell you is that is extremely important. I'm to the point where I'm just genuinely begging you, put your differences aside. Ceaseless, endless arguing over things that really do not matter. Anything that stands between you and the people you care about isn't worth having in the way. I assure you, let it go. You can't hold on to people if your hands are too busy holding on to negativity, memories that don't suit you, grudges that don't benefit anyone. Let go, let in. And I can tell you, however smart you think you are, however wise you think you are, here's some wisdom for you. There is no point in being right if no one you love is left. So take the time, use the phone for what it was actually intended for. And by the way, your cell phone carrier realized they can give you unlimited minutes because you don't fucking use them anyway. Take the time to do something you've been doing your entire life, but do it for real. Ask twice if you need to. Reach out to the people you have and ask them, "How are you?" We don't need wealth, influence, or power to make the world a better place. People just need to feel seen, need to feel heard. If you really want to solve the major problems in life, this mass shooting, the various epidemics that are going on, all those people were just lonely people in their self-imposed echo chamber with no one to listen, no one to hold them. Every homeless person you see is someone's baby. Every angry person you see, someone's child. When it all comes down to it, that's all we really are. Children hurting in one way or another, who have been told it's inconvenient to cry, being conditioned a vast majority of our life to repress rather than regress. My friend ended his life 6 days ago. And I will never forget the last conversation we had. I'm going to share this with you. I haven't even really shared it with my family. The last conversation we had, and I know I'm taking up a lot of time. This is true. This isn't for poetic effect or dramatic or anything. Last conversation we had, he said, "Did you know that if you don't hold a baby within the first few minutes that it's born, did you know that the baby dies? Without affection, babies die." And then I the conversation went in a multitude of directions about how isolation actually killed more people than COVID, and it continues to do so, drug overdose, all that. And I couldn't help, and I wanted to say this to him. When's the last time you were held? When's the last time you held someone? Because this whole thing about, babies die if you don't hold them, that whole concept ends when we die, which is to say, doesn't matter how old we are, we all want to feel love. We all want to be embraced in some sense. And I appreciate these mics. I appreciate these spaces. But I always feel like there's so much aggression. There's always this they and them, but it's never the people in the group. There's so much anger. And the last text message I got from my niece is what I actually have on my home screen on my phone. She said, I want to trust you, Theo, for Spanish, but our family is so dysfunctional. I'm willing to give you a chance, but it's going to take me some time. She died a few weeks after that text message. So if anger turns to art, great. But don't let it tear us apart. Thank you.
Atlas, thank you for that. That was
Your
beautiful.
degree of empathy is just shocking, man. Like,
Thank you for sharing.
like it's
that, man.
thought provoking, but like the degree of empathy is just on a level that respect, salute.
Thank you for sharing.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I can relate to.
Uh-oh, we lost him. He had bad connection and then he just disappeared.
Yeah,
How are we still holding the meeting down?
Because Zomkhonto got placed as the host.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, am I?
Uh-huh.
You're the host now. You're our fearless leader,
Right,
Zomkhonto.
Okay, man. So where's our list?
I think I'm next.
Okay, who was last on the list?
I'm last on the list.
Yeah, Mattie.
And who was next?
There's nobody after me. I'm like the end of round 2.
Oh, okay. So now we're going to round 3. And what usually happens?
No, it's
take a
Mattie.
break?
It's
Huh?
Mattie next.
Oh,
Mattie's
Mattie.
next.
Oh, yes. Okay, Mattie. Kill us with the goodness. Kill us with the goodness. One love.
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, that's so funny. What a wonderful host you were for those 30 seconds. Thank you so much.
It was incredible, Zomkhonto. Really, you were born to do this. You should be on the Late Show with Zomkhonto.
You lit up the screen, Kristi.
Anyway, so grateful to hear all your poems. Mary, grace us.
Okay, what's up, guys? So I have a long piece, but I worked really hard on it, and I'm real proud of it. So if you guys are down for a little bit of a longer piece, I would love to share it, and if not, I'm totally fine to share something else. Yes, okay, cool. So just a little bit on this poem. So when I did my feature, nobody in my family came, and I've been writing for 10 years. So it really bummed me out, and my mom watched the recording, and she had a comment about each of the poems I did until my last one, which was the one about alcohol, where I mentioned that basically she has a drinking problem too, and that it's I didn't mean to call her out, but I mentioned it. I talked about some shit. So I made this poem to basically say poetry is the place that I feel at home, and sometimes that makes people feel uncomfortable because they don't want to hear the truth. So shit, I haven't read this out loud, so okay, it's called Don't Translate This. Fuck. You don't have to translate this. It's poetry on purpose, blood for blood. So first off, let me say that Mondays aren't a crucible made of glass, but sometimes it is better to make my bed in metaphor instead of saying simply that even an exorcism couldn't make me rise up out of it some days. I get stuck halfway, the ceiling stares back, I can look for a pattern, but nothing is there. And by the way, I'm not a ghost. I'm not dead. I do have 2 lungs. I am breathing, 2 hands. I'm not cephalopod. I'm not Medusa. I'm not cursed, not creature. It's just me. I'm otherwise in any way unidentified, a Jane Doe who just wants to be included in her own obit. There I go again. Half the time, I just know for a fact that I'm not part of this world and the words can hold me when I go missing. Today, I want to write about the shy girl who is actually brave, who survives the everything despite the everything, but instead I'm writing about my family, how the people who share my likeness can make me feel so petrified of how I tell my own story that I have created a language coded in metaphor, hidden inside what they can't speak. Everything I've ever felt is still a blister, so I'm sorry that I'm still exaggerating all the time. Literal and metaphorical are separate shades of the same color, pretty pink and flesh. I write and I mean it. I speak it and it is true. I swear I cannot lie. I write down the truth until I believe myself, till I find the body, and even then I want more answers. The pages double. The police report is full of darlings that I won't kill. And here is a perfect example of that. To my friends, if we both show up carotid on the mic and can still feel each other's pulse from the audience, then maybe you are a trusted ear. So I imagine that you know this too, that some words are just always going to become a hospital visit, stage or paper, privacy curtain or not. You can hear the kid in the bed next to you sobbing over the thought of what it will take to heal from this crying life. But if you weren't invited to read this, then for you, maybe the words get swallowed up before you can even taste them. You digest and you judge and you coil and curve your eyesight right around me like a well-thrown fractal and fail and fail and fail again to catch this light in me, to look at me and see more than just your own reflection. To see me clearly would take admitting to yourself that there have been times in this life that you have not been brave, that you aren't as honest as you think you are, as me, that you may not be exactly as real as what you had in mind. You look at me like a mirror. You're most proud of me when I am the spitting image of you. You don't see yourself clearly, so you can't see me either. So mirror me this. You're all too content with a 1/4-inch piece of glass being all that separates you from being able to actually hold your vulnerability through the pain of what it takes to heal. But you chalk up the cop-out to your fear of broken glass and blood, the mess. You hate my mess. You clean me up, and only then am I your daughter. Anger is a curse word in this house. It is a dish shattered on purpose. Black sheep takes the blame. You like to think that you know all of me, but are still too scared to walk barefoot in the kitchen when I come home to visit. Nobody knows where my voice came from, how it splintered into such a light factory and became unrecognizable to the eye, both mantis and shrimp and imagination, my mind, a trench, my comrade. These words are my only fellow traveler across this lonely, across everything. Color me aurora and black holes, supernova. My language can only be described as the pastel palette of last night's dreamsicle. You squint at me to say, I don't get it. When I write, I'm answering my own question, not yours. When the pen hits this page today, when I write with this poison control urgency of a verbal ipecac syrup, this ink becomes a literal gravity kill switch. Nothing hurts as bad as it does buried, so I float. I bring my hurt into the light, to the stage, and the entire ocean rises to meet me in a single drop of ink. My metaphor gives the octopus her lamb lungs, and we finally get to meet for the first time. My belly flop and the goggles don't shatter on my face. 10,000 leagues of language pour out of me exactly as light as the air, and though my speech pressured like the deep sea and the sky is falling up to meet me, you have to grab what you can. And too many words will float off as weather balloons, but I'm working through my fear of heights with this poem as a form of exposure therapy. Half the words don't make enough sense for you, but in my world, supernova, sweet tooth cavities eat candy constellations. I am as ridiculous as you made me feel when I was 15 and sick with self-medicating, but at least now I'm not alone. This story writes itself with me next to it. When you learn how to pronounce the word fearless for the first time without stuttering, the notebook is my judge, jury, and executioner. Jane Doe finally gets justice on this page. If I could go home today, I would. but it won't hold me like this. I swear I would go if it felt better than before. So today, I'll just write. There's a safety that you can't give me. When I summon the tongue to speak, wake this dead inside of me out of the dark and show it a forgiving upbringing, a childhood with no hidden meanings, reading between the bloodlines. Today, I rewrite this code and it saves me myself. A child stuck in foreign tongue, alive today, see where they are now. Prisoner of war comes home today. When I raise my army of words, I am a viral homecoming video. And for once, a story, my life, it comes out alive on the screen. This worded world is my family portrait that I belong in. I've been trying to tell you that in your mirror, all I am is a sad seance. Bloody Mary, please. You don't have to get it, but this has started to haunt me. So you turn away at the scenes that will make this a blockbuster. This is the best of me that you stuffed into an urn on the mantle. I'm right here, sending messages, knocking over the good china, making a mess in hopes that you will wake up and see me as more than a ghost that could have been before I'm gone forever. This other side is full of ghosts writing messages in the fog. It's an invisible trauma. I'm not scared of the dark anymore. I keep trying to get a message to you. Turn the lights on for your ghost story, girl, before they play me off the stage. My time runs out so fast here. Here. Before the magic cuts out and all you see is your own reflection again. Find a wake up, come to Jesus, AA meeting, spitting image, or you'll get left behind too. You tell me sometimes you're so proud of me. How I managed to make a tongue twister out of all these near touchdown tornadoes, mini death, depression, epidemics. You say, I am learning things now that you didn't know at my age. But I'm more than a workhorse. My father was not a gifted teacher. He was a knife. And now I'm doing the work that you couldn't. To uncover why we've chosen men who do not smile at our joy machinery and smash our collection of lighthouses for fun. Some of these poems about me are also about you too. We'll never speak the same language. This poem isn't just for my mom. A translator isn't necessary. I'll say it like this. My body itself is a tired parent, a single mother to itself. I didn't recognize my own voice when I finally found it, like an orphanage. After all these years, it went missing, all the milk cartons and wading through Amber Alerts. So she was so sick. I was so sick. They said she was gone, that I would have to learn sign language. I have only a quarter century of joy, of lost time to make up for now. So coming home just isn't. I don't belong here. I hit the road to California and never stopped looking for that kid. I never gave up on hearing her speak again, imagining what she'd sound like now. All that time she spent as Jane Doe, I was trying to learn to speak Latin, to speak a dead language, to learn my own mother tongue. I don't belong. You can't make me. You can't seance me into a daughter that makes sense and doesn't swear and doesn't act like a dead tooth. So let's start over. Let me introduce myself. Let me introduce you to the girl that got lost and found herself in a dictionary. Here lies a girl. I sleep with a purring voice box. My breath alone is an accent. I'm a code word, and you are not the key that will unlock me. And you're talking louder now, slowing down your words and gesturing. Don't speak a word of my language, but you think you can help me as if it's me who needs to understand your directions in my home country. I am a country. I am a metaphor. I am a concept embodied by grief, an ivy climbing up the wall toward the light. Grasp a concept. I've already been the poster child of a foreign girlhood for too long. I'm lost in this land and named human still. Two-handed, living, alive, pretty and pink, and whatever you may want to call me. And you are a true believer in miracles, a cure for neurodiversity and antinatalism. I eat nihilism. I see all the ghosts before breakfast. You can fool yourself to anything. Hey, you raised a different daughter than the one that went missing. I was a missing person for the entire early 2000s, like this boy in the movie Changeling. You can pretend that you recognize me. The resemblance to your Irish guilt or generational famine that we don't talk about, but here in my country, I speak every graveyard to life. Whenever you listen to my writing, you dig into it to find the blood relative in me, the uncanny body, the vein, the whip, the wisp of my hair, reminding you of daycare days and diaper changes. You decided yourself to decipher which part of this poem is a secret about you, like it can tell you something about me. You pick the lock like it's not already open. Breaking into my diary again, unlocking my phone when I'm asleep, you're reading too far into it. You can just ask me. You're missing the lead and it's not even between the lines. You can just say sorry and then listen. Go ahead, let's listen. But leave the kid out of it. She wasn't yours, just uncanny. I won't live up to your holiday travel plans and prim proper, scapegoat, family heirloom, identified patient, black sheep footwork has been so easy since you pinned the tail on me. Sometimes I don't think I get to exist in this family. I'll never ever be as big of a daydream as I was to you when I was 3 years old. And I am a full sentence now, and that bothers you. That you can fail me, not an answer for every second on the clock, like clockwork. I'm not hungry for another second of it. 27, I lost my appetite. Even if you've seen my guts, even if you scalpel all the way back before I got these scars, you'll see that so many of the words of the ones that cut me were yours. Maybe I'll only ever make sense to you in the baby pictures before you taught me the shame behind grief, to hide my anger like a landmine in my own home country. This poem is a fallout, a detonation of a childhood bedroom with razor blade shrapnel that I hid underneath my mattress. I cut the shame for 10 years until I found a word that clotted all the blood. Keep studying my mess. Read into this. Tell me how much you've grown. I want you here with me, but instead, you are another time zone, grasping at ways to stop the spread of how my identity crisis has become a crisis for you, and this grief across my better off alive body belongs on my skin and not buried into me with a blade. How many green thumbs does it take you to find the root cause of our misery? Glycine is a weed. Doesn't require much sun to grow out of control, just some work to train it up the vine to trellis like ivy and create a cover for the garden. I'm not asking for much, but you look at me as an invasive species, a weed to cut before it takes off down the fence. On my hardest days, I am a nuisance that won't shut up and you call me out of control. I'm still growing. I'm still sad about all the ways you find to cut me down and plant a prettier version of the same exact shade of green on your land in your story. So gloomy is an understatement. The weather. I don't think anyone will ever see how far I've come to stay alive and what has grown in the process. Fractals, fractures, and all, with me, myself, and I just waiting for a set of company hands, a neighbor with the same acquired taste for salt water and laziness to let the weeds just grow. Today, I'm a synonym for lonely and nothing else can relate. Just now, somewhere on this good earth, someone found the kill switch, their own cure for gravity, and stayed alive today. I'm floating on almost 3 hours of it, writing this poem. From out here, everything is either deep blue or landslide. The sun creates a new leaf. I don't await a phone call from the police. I have found my way out the cemetery into the land of the living. I'm my own plot of land, home whether or not you can visit me. My shame was held captive in a basement cellar where nobody can hear a scream. Today I found it. I gave it a new name, a homecoming, a place to live and tell its story inside my own version of English. So don't translate this. I will become a breath of fresh air to this generational silence, a work of art, loud, child, thunderous, daughter, an ocean roaring in a single drop of ink. Thanks.
I think you're just visiting this planet temporarily.
Holy shit.
Holy shit,
Oh,
yeah.
What just
yeah.
happened? Like, how do you place like 3 metaphors in one sentence?
And
Like,
condense it,
and then
and
keep,
then,
yeah,
like,
and then keep
explode
building.
it back out. Like, oh, that's
It's
nasty.
just insane. Like, how do you condense 3 metaphors in one sentence?
That's
That's
crazy.
a skill that is.
I caught gonorrhea with words and then got healed and got like a shot of amoxicillin and then jump right back in your poem. That's just crazy. That's just
Oh,
Thank you,
you
everybody.
enjoy.
With me. I know that was long as hell. Thank you for listening.
Oh, that pen. Oh, your pen is glorious.
Right?
Yeah.
Yo, we missed the first part of it, but wow.
It's like
I'm excited. It's recorded. I'm excited to catch the beginning of that, man.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
That was
you.
crazy though, man. We asked for a moment of silence and like our internet shut off. I'm on my
Yeah, you
cellular data right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked for internet
Zomkhonto
for a
was a
moment of
wonderful
silence to all
host.
the past ones,
Well, that's
and
good. Thank you,
boom.
Zomkhonto.
Yeah, so wow.
Zomkhonto took care of business though while you were gone. He held it
Awesome.
down. He held it down.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank
Love.
you.
Much respect.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the video, man. We caught like the half of it, you know what I mean? I'm excited to see the beginning of that poem because that was just amazing.
Thank
Yo,
you.
and in that spirit, we were, you know, where we were at before we got cut off by the spirits. I don't know, a few of you may have heard this. I know some of you haven't. This is one I wrote for my best friend Matt Havoc. His friend had died, and she was like the linchpin in his world, and he just kind of lost himself, and he died from a lung infection from shooting up too much pills. And he was a good friend of mine for 20 years, 21 years or so. And so I wrote this one to him. I posted it on his wall. It was never really meant to be performed or anything. So it's a really personal poem, but I want to share it with you guys and end the night with this. Thank you all again for coming out. It was amazing hearing all of you guys. I'm excited to see the beginning half of that poem, Mattie, once we edit it. But yeah, so this one, it's called The Lack of Matt. Mountain dew mist, years of tears drift into the decaying rib cage that still burns from your flesh. Missed, missing, pieces of my soul were entwined within your being. I'll never get the stench of your friendship off my chest. Rest. Oh, you sleepy, sweet, waspy old Jewish bitch. Rubies drip when I slid away the pain. What a beautiful brain, liquefied, dripping deeper into my blood. You were loved. It's been so long, 20 years, my best friend. Only if you could see me now, how proud. Yeah, that's how you'd say it. Slight bit of snarkiness. Look at this mess I made. 6 inches from the grave, 2 minutes away from you. But I wait. I have a beautiful wife. She's cool as fuck, bro. DMT, and she's seen you. So smooth, but not how I ever did. No one has. I guess I'll just smile and laugh like you always told me to do whenever I felt blue. Damn, my dude, I fucking miss you. So I bite my lips and punch myself in the face as hard as I can. I reach into the darkness, but I can't feel your hand. I flex my legs, but I can hardly stand. Dewdrops fall into the sand. The morning sun takes them away. I just take things day by day, 'cause that's what you'd say. Breathe, Tom. I might not be here, but I'm not gone. Think of me and I'll live on. I wonder how your bones look, gold and true. I fucking miss you. I'll see you again someday soon. Thank you.
Dude, that was heavy and that was really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Rest in
Thank you for
power to your
sharing.
friend. Rest in power to your friend. One love.
Indeed.
He
Rest
was the
in
one that cut
poetry.
our internet out when I said, let's take a moment of silence. He was like, okay, cut
Yeah,
the
we call it
internet.
magic
Yeah, it's
because
magic.
it's stronger than regular magic.
Yeah.
It's Matt.
Yeah, he was an amazing person, man. He was a one of a kind person, and he was my best friend, and I loved him to death. Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up now then. It's been such an amazing night. Again, thank you guys so much for being part of Open Minds, Open Mic. We
Can't wait for CP Maze's
Oh my
feature.
God.
Yeah, I can't wait
Super
for you next
excited.
week.
Super excited for
Oh,
that.
my man, CP amazing.
Yeah.
I try not to let y'all down. So yeah.
We've had a lot of face melters tonight.
Yeah.
Mattie, you
today
melted
is-
some faces. You
I love
expanded
that.
some minds. You
Oh.
blew my
I love
mind.
it all so much.
Like the
Yeah.
caliber of poetry in this room is just like so earth-shattering, you know, and I'm so proud and inspired, you know, and inspired to write some more. So thanks to all of you. I truly am inspired. Thank you so much.
I love you guys.
Too, man.
you.
We love you all.
CP Maze
Open
next
mind.
week, next Friday.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm gonna write a poem off of one of your lines. So
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Well,
Ciao.
Much love. Good night, everybody.
much love, everyone. Stay inspired and inspire a child.
Bye, y'all.
Bless y'all.
One love.